Hi, it's Tony Marino, host of the super popular Newsmax Daily Podcast, a rundown of the day's top headlines and top highlights of Newsmax shows and interviews you may have missed, plus some sports, stock markets, and even some yucks, all packed into about 20 minutes. Search for the Newsmax Daily with me, Tony Marino, on your favorite podcast platform, and check out our entire lineup of great podcasts, including Greg Kelly, Rob Carson, and Jerry Callahan at newsmax.com/listen.
Now.
You are about to hear the most interesting, informative, thought-provoking, and funny show in America. On air and on the World Wide Web. This is the Rob Carson Show.
Thank God it's Monday. Welcome to the show. Please come inside. Man, I can't wait to just have a little R&R and only work 12 hours a day or 14 hours a day during the week, because I'll tell you what, I didn't get a whole lot of a break this weekend. I was working on the studio and everything. I'm building this studio here in Washington, D.C. I think the culmination of the last year kind of hit me. I'm just kind of a little bit kind of toasty this morning. I don't know if it's because of the lack of sleep. I don't know if it's because of the time change. You know, we had the time change. We all fell back and everything. Or if it was the ZQL I took at 2 in the morning. I'm not sure what the hell it is. But anyway, I'm just glad it's Monday. Tomorrow's election day. Of course, something big happened yesterday. Something really big happened yesterday.
68 yards away. It's up there. It's out there. And it's good. It's good from 68.
Kidding me. Just driving that ball. You see the low trajectory, but look at this. I mean, that's good from 70.
Yeah, this is regular season. Wow. And he's had a rough year, a sophomore slump. They'll tell you, Jacksonville, it's such a great rookie.
Yeah, that's all great. They got a 68-yard field goal, but what the hell? I mean, what are we going to do now? We just going to do the kickoff and eliminate the audience or the offense altogether? I mean, honestly, shouldn't we kind of have a limitation on to how far out you can kick a field goal? 68 yards. That is where do you get spotted on if you just down the ball on the kick out, you're going to go to the 25. So literally, you've only got another 7 yards to go before you can get. You only got to get 7 yards of offense to kick the damn field goal. What the heck is that going to do? What happens when somebody decides he can kick it 100 yards? Why even bother kicking off the dang ball? Just have two field goal kickers play the whole damn game. There you go. It's just two people on the team. Honestly, 68-yard field goal. I'd like to celebrate this. I don't think it's good for the game. Am I wrong? I'm not saying I'm some sort of a sage or terribly knowledgeable. I mean, I have been watching football most of my adult life, but 68-yard field goal, is that a good thing? Is that a good thing for football? That somebody can kick the ball after literally just doing 7 yards of offense and then kick the ball? Well, I guess if you had 10, so 17 yards of offense and then you kick the ball, there you go. Chiefs lost yesterday. The Bills came to play. That's they just did. I guess maybe the Kansas City Chiefs weren't able to pay off the refs this time because God knows the only reason Kansas City wins is because the refs love their quarterback so much and the Kansas City Chiefs so much. That's what I get when I live here in Northern Virginia. When I wear my Chiefs hat, oh yeah, Kansas City Chiefs, they cheat all the time. Well, I guess they didn't pay off the refs enough last night. Unbelievable. Anyway, that was my initial thought on the events of the day. But there's much more. I've got my God, a terrific interview Elon Musk did with Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan does such a good job with in-depth interviews, and now I know. Now we all know, and you will know if you don't, why the Democrat Party is so violently trying to prevent ICE from deporting illegals. Because they did exactly what you thought they were going to do. They opened the southern border to 25 or 30 million illegals. They expanded the welfare state dramatically. They got rid of voter ID, so you cannot prove voter fraud in states like California. So illegals can vote in mass, and the Democrat Party has replaced people in those states because people who come across the southern border, and many of them from poor countries, they look at $10,000 on a Visa card and SNAP benefits and free health care and all of that. That is a dream come true. And whatever party gives them that, they will vote Democrat. That's it. Your Democrat Party is so freaking stinking evil. It is so ridiculous. I told you, they have to reinvent themselves or disappear into the dustbin of history. And this Democrat Party has to disappear into the dustbin of history. And it's doing a good job of that anyway, because it's lurching left toward socialism/communism. And I will tell you, when that happens nationally, then they will get their asses beaten into the ground. It is not going to exist in this country. It will not exist as long as I am alive. It will not exist as long as you are alive. You can say all you want about these new polls that so, college students really think communism is a good idea. Well, who the bleep cares what college students think? Because they don't know D-word about Richard, because they haven't lived any life. They've never paid any bills. They've never had any jobs. So how about shut up? And how about learn a little bit about history, you little punks? Honestly, so done with this nonsense. Andrew Cuomo, Curtis Sliwa closing the gap on a socialist. He's not a socialist. He's a radical Islamist. He's just lying to the socialists and telling them that he's going to give them all sorts of free stuff, including cheap groceries and free housing and all that. He has no plan for paying for it. He's just using the left, young people, like the useful idiots that Lenin used in his rise to power. You know why? Because they're young and stupid and ignorant. There you go. That's why. I said when Zoran Mandami became a candidate in New York City, when was that? Back in November, December. I said I didn't think that he'd be able to be the mayor of New York City. I just didn't see how, once everybody was awakened, particularly the Jewish people were awakened, this would be possible. For this man who has no life experience whatsoever, has never had a job, a kid in high school who worked at Orange Julius in the mall food court for a summer, has more job experience than this punk. But he is a radical Islamist. He says what he needs to say, and he does it with that sickening, sweet, fake smile. It's even faker than Gavin Newsom's smile. He is a wolf in sheep's clothing, but even worse. There's a reason why these radical Islamists still love him, even though he's pro-LGBTQIA+. Do you know why? Because he's playing the young idiots who believe that he really loves them a lot, and he's going to give them a lot of free stuff. And the radical imams know he's saying what he's got to do to get in office. He's saying what he's got to do, even though he has no business at all running anything. Anything. He has no business running anything. He doesn't have the life experience. He doesn't have the knowledge. He doesn't have the intelligence. He is like, I don't know, what was that president from 2008 until about 2016? Yeah. He didn't have a whole lot of life experience either. He was a community organizer. Yeah, community organizer. But just like so many in the Democrat Party, say, for instance, in the state of Virginia, they got a woman there, Ghazala Hashmi, who is paid for by the same people that Zoran Mandami is, George Soros. She's not doing any debates. She's not doing any appearances. She's just relying on $8 million coming into the state to buy ads and smother the competition. Because John Reid, who's running for lieutenant governor, who's busting his ass every day for the last year on the campaign trail, everywhere, he can't afford to buy ads on D.C. television stations or Richmond television stations. But George Soros can. And then you've got every poll. Have you ever noticed that every single poll, no matter where it is, local, state, federal, whatever, Democrats are always ahead before the election day? Always. Do you ever see headlines? Democrat far behind's got a lot of work to do to win this election. It's never that. It's never, it'll be a major come from behind victory if the Democrat can actually beat the Republican. It never happens. It's always polling that shows that the Democrat is way out ahead, so why even vote at all? And this weekend, ABC News came out with a new poll. ABC, Washington Post, two left-leaning enterprises decide to unleash a poll about what people think about Donald Trump's economy. And 53% say it's worse than Joe Biden's economy. Well, that's just frickin' stupid, because Joe Biden increased inflation on groceries by 50%, doubled the price of homes, doubled the price of cars, tripled the damned interest rates, and blew up the entitlement state, blew up the SNAP benefit state 50%. It's ridiculous to think otherwise. Everybody knows Joe Biden did a crappy job as the president and the economy was terrible, but the left is doing its level best to convince you that Donald Trump's doing a terrible job, even though he's the greatest damn president we've ever seen. He's done more to bring money, manufacturing into this country and world peace around the world, and they have been just destroying him for 9 months, including burning Tesla dealerships and holding no kings rallies and throwing temper tantrums and going after Signal Gate and trying to create all sorts of bull crap. This is what it has been, a nonstop war for 10 years on Donald Trump and us, and they've only increased it, and now they're out and out lying before Election Day, and they're polling in favor of Democrats as they always do. 2 weeks ago, we had a neck-and-neck race with Winsome Sears and Spamberger in Virginia. It was 1 point yesterday. They say, oh no, Spamberger's ahead by 10. Why even bother voting? Bull crap. Bull crap. They are going down like movie vampires. The left is dying like movie vampires. They will do anything they can to win. They will tell you any sort of lie you need to hear to convince you that they are winning and you are losing and that Donald Trump is doing a bad job, etc., etc., etc. It is all a psyop, and it's all bullcrap to keep you from getting to joy and patriotism and loving the country as founded and all of that. And guess what? We're going to roll over them like speed bumps. The new Atlas Intel survey has Zohran Mamdani leading the field with 40.6% of the vote. Former New York governor, registered Democrat, registered independent, up to 34%, and the gap is closing. 6 points in this election is nothing, according to the former governor. Lade told reporters campaigning Saturday in Brownsville, Brooklyn. Of course, you heard that in the state of New Jersey, that Mr. Cettarelli is caught up with Smiling Mikey, or whatever the hell her name is, and then all of a sudden yesterday, oh, there's 7 points. She's ahead by 7 points. Really? What does the energy and momentum of his campaign tell you that she's still ahead by 7 points? The people in New Jersey are sick and damn tired of what New Jersey has been doing and what Democrats have done in New Jersey. All you got to do is get your butts out and vote. All you got to do. And when you hear this audio from Elon Musk, who was in charge of Doge, who they attacked, they called a Nazi, they burned his car dealership, his car sales went down 25%, he ended up leaving the government because of it. When you hear what he has to say about what Democrats did to bring illegals in, what they give them, what states like California give them, and then allow them to vote, then you'll understand why people like J.B. Titzler are standing in the schoolhouse door to keep ICE from evicting illegals. And you know what? It's not going to work. It's not going to work. There you go. Well, I started off the show kind of sleepy, kind of that, and not so much anymore. No, not so much. We've got so much coming up today on the show. John Reid's going to join us at the bottom of the hour, among other things. Let's go ahead and take a break. This, my friends, is a Monday edition of The Rob Carson Show.
I make the Democrats look incredibly dumb. Inflation is down, the economy's starting to hum. Still, it's a real good bet, the best is yet to come. Best is yet to come since we bombed Iran. Taking out all their nukes, that was part of the plan. The border's secure once again. Illegals aren't getting in. Doge has saved us billions. This is what it's like to win. Best is yet to come, and it's gonna be fine. best is yet to come. Hear the Democrats whine. Listen to them whine. The last laugh is mine.
Mom Donnie, a socialist. Mom Donnie, a communist. He's a fan of a muss. His win will be New York's loss. He's an extremist, you bet, as New York's gonna get taxed like never before. When Mom Donnie is done, the city will run every grocery store. He'll defund the police and crime will increase as the murder rate begins to soar. Mom Donnie, anti-Jew, he despises Netanyahu. It is really a sin. New Yorkers voted him in. They'll regret that they helped him win.
Town of Portland, I said in the guard, Antifa, they are gonna hit you hard. The Democrat mayor's getting in my way. Go ahead, punks, and make my day. F around and find out. F around and find out. Schumer's gonna find out. I mean business and I'll get my way. Pencil neck and Chris Ray, for your crimes you will pay. You have both been found out. Hope you get a lengthy prison stay. Listen up, Hamas, I am warning you. Break the ceasefire and you'll be through. Democrats.
The Rob Carson Show podcast is everywhere. Go to Newsmax.com/listen for details.
My values have not changed.
A hashtag abolish ICE. Referring to the enforcement agency when it comes to immigration. Listen to what your colleague, Senator Kamala Harris, said about the idea of abolishing ICE. Here's what she told my colleague, Casey Hunt.
Examine ICE and its role and the way that it is being administered and the work it is doing. And we need to probably think about starting from scratch.
Abolish ICE. This is a refrain that we've heard increasingly from your Democratic colleagues, some even potential 2020.
Yeah, that started way back in like 2018. The Democrat Party started talking about abolishing ICE. And then oddly enough, Joe Biden got into office by hook or by crook, mostly by crook, and then opened the southern border to 20 million illegals. Isn't that crazy how that happened? Isn't that just crazy how that happened? And then a couple of years ago, they blew up government benefits. I mean, by 50% for SNAP benefits going to illegals. A good 53% of people on SNAP now are illegals. They are not here legally, and all sorts of other. For instance, you hear this battle cry about we need $1.5 trillion of health care. That's what the Democrats are doing. That's what they want in this. They reopen the government. They want $1.5 trillion for health care for illegals. Why is that? Well, let me let Joe Rogan explain it to you. I should say Elon Musk talking to Joe Rogan about it.
So why did they change their tune? The reason is that they discovered that those people vote for them. That's why they want the open borders.
Because if you let people in, they know the Democrats let them in, they'll vote for Democrats.
Yes.
If you allow them to vote.
Which they're actively doing. They turn a blind eye to illegal voting.
Yeah.
Well, California literally doesn't allow you to show your license.
What?
California and New York have made it illegal to show your photo ID.
Yeah, isn't that interesting? The Democrats have been pushing no photo ID and calling it racist for years.
When voting. Thus, effectively, they've made it impossible to prove fraud. Impossible.
Huh.
They've essentially legalized.
There's no voter fraud because they never pursue it.
Fraudulent voting in California and New York. And many other parts of the country. The Democratic Party in the U.S. and the left in Europe realized that
this is why what's happening in Europe is happening here. The open border, massive amounts of illegals, including a lot of Islamists.
If you have open borders and you provide a ton of government handouts, which creates a massive financial incentive for people from other countries to come to your country, and you don't prosecute them for crime, they're going to be beholden to you, and they will vote for you. And that's why Obama and Hillary went from being against open borders to being in favor of open borders. In order to import voters so they can win elections, they will import enough voters to get supermajority voting, and then there is no turning back.
And they don't care how many people get raped and murdered or trafficked or anything. This is why your Democrat Party has to be blown completely out of existence. It has to end. The Democrat Party has to end. It's going to end. It's killing itself. It's leaning so far into the left that it's going to kill itself. But it honestly, it cannot continue to exist as it is right now because it has descended into absolute hell.
So California and New York and Illinois lie like crazy. And say that these are all legitimate payments. Well, these days I think they're even admitting that they literally want.
This is massive amounts of money from Medicare and Medicaid. This is the health care for illegals we've been talking about. This is the $1.5 trillion that the Democrats want to reopen the government because they know they absolutely have to have it or they're going to lose everything.
Hundreds of billions of dollars for illegals. You get these transfer payments for every government program you can possibly think of. New York, Illinois, and other states, when they would lie, there was no actual enforcement to say like, hey, you're lying. These payments are fraudulent. Now, under the Trump administration, the Trump administration does not want to send hundreds of billions of dollars of fraudulent payments to the states. And the reason you have this
better shut down the government and extort it then.
Standoff is because if the hundreds of billions of dollars to create a financial incentive to have this giant magnet to attract illegals from every part of Earth to these states. If that is turned off, the illegals will leave because they're no longer being paid to come to the United States and
better shut down the government.
Stay here, and then the Democratic Party will lose a lot of voters. The Democratic Party wants to destroy democracy by importing voters. The Republican Party disagrees with that.
And the ruse is that if you don't accept what they're doing, then you're a threat to democracy.
Yes.
Wow, that is crazy. Here's some more from Elon Musk telling the truth.
They were also giving out debit cards with $10,000.
Yeah, remember that?
So it's not just about medical care.
Yeah. They were taking the health care money the Democrats want, the $1.5 trillion, and spending it on other things to get people to vote for Democrats.
The Democrats mention the medical care because they're trying to prey on people's empathy as much as possible.
It's for health
and
care.
then they imagine, oh, wow, somebody has a desperately needed medical procedure, and shouldn't we maybe take care of them in that regard? But what they do is they divert the Medicaid funds and turn it into a slush fund for the states that goes well beyond emergency medical care. And New York and California would be bankrupt without the massive fraudulent federal payments that go to those states to pay for illegals, to create a massive financial incentive for illegals.
How would they be bankrupt because of that?
They wouldn't be able to balance their state budgets, and they can't issue currency like the Federal Reserve can.
And the same thing is going with regard to the explosion in the money spent on SNAP benefits, because you see people can actually sell their benefits. They can sell the things they buy with SNAP and not report income. Criminals can intake fake card readers in public spaces such as grocery stores, gas stations, liquor stores that copy electronic benefit transfer card data and deplete benefits paid in fiscal year 2023, or I should say in June 24. Anyway, they're taking money that we give them, they're using it under the guise of health care, and they're paying off people to vote. They're giving them free hotel stays in New York City and bank cards with loads of money on it. This is why Democrats want ICE gotten rid of. This is why Democrats are so anti getting rid of people who came here illegally. The Democrat Party is evil. That's just it. That's it. And that's all. Tomorrow's Election Day. We're going to talk to John Reid, Lieutenant Governor candidate from Virginia, next. Hey guys, guys, it's Carson. Forget fresh olive oil. I eat olive oil every day. I got rid of seed oils years ago. Life is too short to not have wonderful fresh olive oil, and I mean fresh. Olive oil packs the most flavor and healthy ingredients when it's fresh from the farm. And that's the problem with supermarket olive oils. They're not fresh. They can sit on the shelf for months growing stale. That's why I get my olive oil from small, award-winning farms, thanks to a fellow named T.J. Robinson, also known as the Olive Oil Hunter. When I tasted TJ Farms' fresh olive oils, I fell in love with their vibrant, grassy flavors. They're incredibly delicious on salad, veggies, pasta, meat, fish, you name it. And as an introduction to his Fresh Pressed Olive Oil Club, TJ is willing to send you a full-size $39 bottle of one of the world's finest artisanal olive oils, fresh from the new harvest, for just $1 to help him cover shipping. There's no commitment to buy anything now or later. Get your free $39 bottle for just $1 and taste the difference freshness makes. Go to GetFreshRobCarson.com. That's GetFreshRobCarson.com for a free bottle and pay just $1 shipping. GetFreshRobCarson.com.
If you're illegal alien in the United States, this message is for you. You cannot hide from ICE.
Avoiding ICE ain't easy. Illegals are so sleazy. Tom Holman set them straight. To ICE should be reporting. You should be self-deporting. Leaving will be your fate. Back home is where you're headed. That's safe to say. And you won't make a stop along the way. No longer can you stay here. You've seen your final day here, 'cause you've committed crime. Avoiding ICE ain't easy. It is far from easy. Avoiding ICE ain't easy anytime.
Street protesters, we've had our fill, but Randy Fine has a bill, says move them on over, run them all over, run over protesters blocking all our roads. The Thump Thump bill is what it's called. I'm sure the left will be appalled, but move them on over. Run them all over. Step on the gas if they won't step aside. Sure, it might leave a dent, but make them a hood ornament. Run them all over. Thump them all over. If they block our streets, they'll get what they deserve.
And Abigail doesn't just believe in working with everybody, she also believes, and this is really important, in listening to everybody, whether they voted for her or not. Because she knows that if we want to make progress on the things that we care about, we have to be able to disagree without calling each other nasty names or demonizing each other.
Okay, there's Barack Obama doing what he does best, that is lying, saying that, we never call anybody names, Nazi, white supremacist, all of that. He came into Virginia yesterday because Abigail Spanberger is a little bit nervous about the governor's race, even though the polls are saying, there's no chance. And she's out 7 points. She's ahead of Winsome Sears by 7 points. Don't even bother voting. That's the way they are, kind of. It's interesting because a week ago, a lot of the polls were saying Winsome Sears, they were neck and neck, and then all of a sudden it's like 7 points. I don't believe it, not one little bit. The same goes for what's happening in New Jersey. It was neck and neck, and then I'm hearing the last 2 days, Mikey Sherrill's ahead by 7. Bullcrap. It's always bullcrap. They always say that the Democrats are going to win. You never, in any race, I don't care. I think it's been years before I heard, Democrat has a long way to go and a come from behind victory if they're going to beat a Republican. It's always the Democrats are ahead until the last day, and then all of a sudden, holy crap, Donald Trump won in 2016. And holy crap, Donald Trump won in 2024. He never led in any one of those polls. So don't believe the polling. The Democrat Party is particularly desperate right now because they are losing on all fronts, and Donald Trump has an amazing presidency. In the state of Virginia, we've got 3 big races. One of them is that for lieutenant governor. We've got a great guy, John Reid, running against a woman who is being bought and paid for by the same people who are funding Zohran Mamdani's campaign. This is true. John Reid joins us on the Newsmax hotline right now. John Reid, how are you today?
I'm great. I'm getting outspent by the radicals, but I'm working harder than anybody else, and I think that still counts in Virginia. So I'm in Roanoke, Virginia right now, up in the mountains, talking to you, and I'm excited about it. I think the momentum and the excitement is on our side.
I think so.
And that makes sense. A, we're right on the issues, and B, we don't threaten to kill our political opponents. So
yes.
I'd say that's a win on both counts, right?
Well, I noticed that they decided to try to polish Jay Jones this weekend with Barack Obama coming into town to campaign for Spanberger, and kind of forget Jay Jones had said those things, and those things that would not have qualified him for a job as AG otherwise, or if they were hiring at the Justice Department, he wouldn't have passed a background check. But they thought that Barack Obama coming to town would paint a veneer on it and make us forget about all of it. I don't think it's going to work.
It's not going to work. Look, in modern America, if you listen to the Democrats, you lose your job if you use the wrong pronoun for someone who is delusional and thinks they're a different sex than they really are. You lose your job if you crack a sexist joke at 2 a.m. I mean, there's so many things where you go, God, there's no grace for any error, but I'm supposed to suddenly forgive someone threatening to murder one of his Republican colleagues and their 2 children, and then say that it's okay if the cops die because that'll make the cops stop behaving badly. Give me a break. This is outrageous. This is a part of the DNA, unfortunately, of the modern Democrat Party. I think people are tired of it. They want reasonable and responsible leaders who are going to be fair to everybody, and that's why I'm running. And I know that's why Winsome wants to be there, and Jason too. I think we're going to win.
I do too. The media though is leaning into polling that is a kind of opposite of what it has been, and also I'll mention people like ABC News came out with a poll this weekend that suddenly out of nowhere, despite 4 years of absolute hell economy with Joe Biden, that suddenly 53% in a ABC Washington Post poll say that the economy is worse under Trump. This a couple days before the election. This is the kind of chicanery and nonsense. But being on the ground says the total opposite. I saw an event you did this weekend where you walked out into a town hall, probably 1,000 people, which you normally don't get for a lieutenant governor race. But you had a big crowd, and people were very enthusiastic to hear you speak this weekend, John.
Yeah, listen, I'm a native Virginian. I was on television for 10 years. I built trust that way. I was an investigative reporter and one of the anchors at an ABC TV station. And then for the last 8 years, I've been kind of one of the leading thought leader commentators doing a talk show similar to yours, Rob. And, people begin, if they listen on a regular basis, they know whether you're shooting straight with them or not. And that's the reputation I've tried to build. I've criticized people in my own party when it's been necessary, when it's been called for, but I try to shoot straight with folks. And I think there is a hunger in the United States of America and in Virginia for people who will do that. They won't just feed you some talking points that were crafted by somebody up in D.C., but people who will tell you what they think and will stick with it and stand up when you need someone to do that. And I will do that. I've proven it for the last decade, and I think that's why people are rallying around me instead of the radical Islamists and the socialists who are pushing the current Democrat ticket, including my opponent.
This weekend, you posted on social media a milk carton with with Ghazala Hashmi's face on it because she's not doing anything, dude. She does not want to be confronted. She doesn't want to get challenged. She wants George Soros money to speak for her, to overwhelm you because you can't afford the big money ads on DC television stations because it's very, very expensive. She's got $8 million coming in from other parts of the country and George Soros, among others. So she's just letting the media do the talking for her. Where have you seen her? Where has she been out, John? She hasn't done a single debate with you. You've been out there she hasn't done a single debate. She's not interested in doing interviews or anything. She just does a tag at the end of her spots saying, I'm Ghazala Hashmi, and I approve this message. That's it.
I've only met her in person, I think, one time, and that was here in Roanoke many months ago. I shook hands with her, and we were polite to each other. But that's the last time I've seen her in person. I think I don't think I've even run into her. Sometimes when you go to an event, you'll see your opponent coming or going when you're arriving or leaving. She doesn't even do that. That's why I did the world's first artificial intelligence debate, and I actually made her look better than in real life. That's how fair I'm trying to be. I could have ridiculed her. I could have used her dumbest comments, but I wanted to shoot straight with the people of Virginia, and I think most people who watched that debate saw her opinions and disagreed with them, and then saw me walk in off the street after a 14-hour day with no rehearsal, no teleprompter, and they have confidence that I'll make good decisions that are grounded in solid conservative principles.
You know, the thing that I've noticed about Democrats, and including Abigail Spanberger and your opponent, they never speak. They always speak in generalities. There's no specifics with regard to policy. It's always promise this, promise that, and attack your opponent. For instance, Ciccarelli's got magnificent plans for lowering the price of energy and whatnot, and his opponent does nothing but promise, promise, promise. Same way with Zoran Mandami. He's promising free buses, and the service is going to get better and it's going to get faster. That's not going to happen. But they are all about generalities, all about just getting across the finish line, overwhelming you with messaging and no details.
Yeah, this is the problem with the Democrats. They do promise the world with other people's money. And, I had a career as an international businessman. I've been to 113 different countries around the world. Every country that is in devastation has bought into the socialist mindset of tax the businesses, tax the wealthy, and then give free things to other people. And eventually the system collapses and everybody winds up in poverty. Of course, the rich people fly out or go off to Paris or London and kind of wait out their time, hoping they can come back home.
Yes.
But everybody else is stuck. And we can't let that happen in the United States.
Now, John,
we need to guard against it.
We've got to
talk about it.
We've got to take a break. Can you hold on through the break, and then we'll wrap things up with a message to the voters as they go to the polls tomorrow. Can you hold on with just a couple of moments, John?
We'll do it.
All right, I appreciate it, brother. I know you're busy. Let's take a break and come back. This is the Rob Carson Show. This is around the Carson Show. John Reid had to go. He had a TV hit. Obviously, he's very busy. If you are in Virginia and you haven't voted yet, do so tomorrow. Polls are open everywhere tomorrow, and obviously you got all sorts of things going on. You got a New Jersey race going on there. You've got Zohran Mamdani in New York City. The race is tightening up there, and the Democrat Party is doing everything they can to convince you. And one of the things the ongoing government shutdown is now over a month. It's the longest in history, and the Democrat Party wants to extort another $1.5 trillion out of us for illegals to get health care. And it's really not health care, as you heard earlier from Joe Rogan and Elon Musk. It's about billions, hundreds of billions of dollars being sent to states like California that they can take the money and use it for whatever largesse they decide to heap on illegals. So they will vote illegally. And that's why they say, oh, yeah, you can't vote illegally, and there's no voter fraud in the world. This is a California sheriff talking about how easily it is to vote if you're illegal.
The way the voting system is structured, we see quite a few flaws. You're able to register and cast a vote if you don't live in the country, as evident of his brother in Pakistan. And I think we have some evidence of 2 or 3 other people out of the country that voted. Is that correct?
Yeah, approximately 2 or 3 other people out of the country, as well as people residing outside of the district.
Okay. The online voter registration system, it seems to be an honor system.
An honor system.
Anybody can put information in there to register to vote. All you have to do is click a box and say that you're not lying, and then you'll get an email.
It's very easy. It's very, very easy to figure out that the Democrat Party cheats. This is why they've been fighting Donald Trump tooth and nail about deporting illegals. This is why they brought 20 to 30 million people into the country illegally while they could. Here is Kristi Noem talking about the millions of illegals that came across the southern border when Joe Biden was the president, and how many of them have Social Security cards. Why would they have that?
It happens when you put a train wreck like Joe Biden in the White House, and it's going to be a lot of work to clean it up. But just in the last 4.5 years, we've had over 9 million people get Social Security numbers that are not U.S. citizens.
Weird.
So they may be people who have some sort of legal status, but a lot of them are illegals that were given a Social Security number in just the last 4.5 years that we're going to have to figure out if they should be here, if they are here legally under a program, and if they are here illegally, then they certainly shouldn't be using that Social Security number to be on our programs, and they should be removed or given the opportunity.
Yeah, you bring in people from third world countries and you give them free hotel stay, free SNAP benefits, spending money on a card. They are a voter for life. And this is why Democrats want to get rid of IDs and everything and all of the proof that you're actually a citizen to vote and whatnot, because they know exactly what they're trying to do. This is Brooke Rollins, the Secretary of Agriculture, talking about SNAP benefits, which, by the way, coincidentally increased by like 60% right after Joe Biden became the president, and he opened the southern border.
Day one of USDA, February 13th, is we sent letters to every governor in America being very clear that no illegal aliens can use SNAP. 0, 0, 0. We asked every state for the first time in history, and this was in February, to send us their data and let us, with Doge and a war room, actually start going through this data to better understand how this explosion of SNAP benefits happened under Joe Biden. We increased almost 40% on this program in just a couple of years under the Biden administration. Of course, we know they were trying to buy the election, but that's a conversation for another time. And since we have asked for that data, 29 states have complied. Of course, almost all the red states, a couple of couple blue states too. But in that data, and I haven't talked about this yet publicly, in that data we've studied about $100 billion in spend. We have found thousands and thousands of illegal use of the EBT card. We have been moving people off of SNAP. We've got almost 700,000 people, I think, we've moved off just since the president took office. We've arrested about 118 people. So this has been ongoing. But, Rachel, to your point.
It's much bigger than that, actually. SNAP increased 40% under Biden administration. 21 blue states refused to hand over data to Doge to ensure illegals aren't getting benefits. Thousands of cases of illegal use of the benefit found. Over 100 people arrested for SNAP fraud. Thousands thousands of dead people receiving benefits, etc. This is your Democrat Party. And by the way, they would have probably never had another election had Donald Trump been able to be defeated. But you see, he wasn't able to be defeated in the last election. I think I've got a little bit more of Elon Musk. Yeah, here's Elon Musk talking about that.
At last, there would
if Trump had lost,
never have been another real election again. Because Trump is actually enforcing the border. Now, you can point to situations where there's been, immigration, enforcement has been overzealous, because they're not going to be perfect. There'll be cases where they've been overzealous in expelling illegals. But if you say that the standard must be perfection for expelling illegals, then you will not get any expulsion. Because perfection is impossible.
Yeah, and this is why they are lining up at schoolhouse doors to prevent Donald Trump and ICE from going in. This is why violence against ICE has increased 8,000% because the left, they are dying like movie vampires. They're seeing the end of their cabal. Donald Trump survived 91 counts for political indictments, attempts to take him off the ballot, and attempts to murder him. They never expected him to win, and they're not going out quietly. Let's take a break and come back. This is the Rob Carson Show. All righty, kids. Who's watching today? I've been a little busy. Desert Dog 1977. You're new. I haven't seen you on YouTube. Nice to see you, though. Mickey Hastings, you've been there before. What up? Deplorable Dinosaur. Thanks for joining me. I hope you're enjoying the show thus far. I had a very busy weekend. Dookie Bear, Round a Pony, Scarecrow over on the Rumbly Roo, Beck Ottenberry, as always, good to see you. And, of course, Rich Derrick. I think you're new on Facebook. I haven't seen you there before. Robert Lawson, Dale Arsenault, Vicky Stevens. Yo. What up, Squall White? I had a very busy weekend. I had one of the best crab cake sandwiches ever at a place literally 100 feet from where I work. It was amazing. And then I did some renos on the studio this weekend. I did it of my own autonomy and my own dollar. Here, I'll show you a picture you want to see. If you didn't see my social media, I'll show you what I did. It's kind of cool. I put up a brick wall. Look at that. Can you see it? It's kind of cool. And then I added some neon light. There, look at that. And I got some other stuff going on here. It's going to be really cool. It's going to look very late night and very cool. But a lot of work going into it. But we're going to make some great things happen because I'm the only conservative comedy show in America, political commentary and comedy show in America that is in Washington, D.C. I know, it's crazy, right? Pretty amazing opportunity. So let's go on. Let's move here. Here we are. Let's do some other stuff here. I got a lot of stuff I want to get to. Eric Schmidt, Elon Musk. Okay. Thank you, Bri.
So then the rebuttal from the Dems is like, oh, well, the vast majority of the people who are marked as live in the Social Security Administration weren't receiving Social Security Administration payments. That is true. What they forgot to mention is they're getting fraudulent payments from every other government program. That's why the Dems were so opposed to turning off, to declaring someone dead who was dead. Because it would stop all the other fraud from happening.
Wow. And so, but all this, is it trackable? Like all this other fraud?
Yeah, it's not even hard.
And yet they're opposed.
This is why they wanted to get rid of Doge. This is why Elon Musk was a Nazi.
Chasing it all down.
They're opposing chasing it all down because it turns off the money magnet for the illegals.
Wow. Well, and how much money are we talking?
It's hundreds of billions of dollars.
Hundreds of billions of dollars. Your money to replace you. Yeah, it is a great replacement theory. It's true. And it would have been successful if it weren't for us meddling kids. There you go. You have lucked out due to overwhelming demand for free silver from Birch Gold Group. They've extended the current promotion through Veterans Day with the free silver. When you buy gold, every $5,000 purchase from Birch Gold by Veterans Day, Birch Gold will send you a free 1-ounce patriotic silver round that commemorates the Gadsden and American flags. I'm showing it to you right now on the stream. It's pretty, it's shiny. It's been in my pocket all weekend long. It's my good luck charm. Thank you very much. Gold is up 60%. It's at $4,008 an ounce today. Last year was like, in the 2000s, for God's sake. It was in the 2000s last year. Buy gold before it becomes unaffordable for you. It's moving up, and it's dependable, and it is something that it will always have value, has always had value. Right now, you can learn more about gold by texting my name, Rob, to 989898 for Birch Gold. Text my name, Rob, to 989898 for a free info kit to claim your eligibility for free silver with a purchase before November the 11th. It's before November the 11th. It's coming up. My God, it's already November the 3rd, for crying out loud. Get it done. Text my name, Rob, to 989898 for Birch Gold to get free silver. One more thing with Elon Musk and illegals getting Social Security cards. And we heard from Christy Nome that 9 million illegals got Social Security numbers after Joe Biden opened the border.
But all these other government payments that are available that are connected to the Social Security number, it seems like if you just chased that all down, you would find the widespread fraud.
Yes, but the root of the problem is the Social Security Administration database. The Social Security number in the United States is used as a de facto national ID number. That's why, like, at the bank always asks for your Social Security.
They shouldn't.
Any financial institution will ask for your Social Security number.
It sounds so insane that this isn't chased down. I
agree.
That in and of itself that's such mishandling.
Yes, it's mind blowing.
Yeah, this is why the border was opened. This is why the Democrat Party is doing everything it can to keep the illegals they allowed to come in to stay, because they're here for votes. End of story. That's it. They need to throw elections to win elections because they're intellectually and morally bankrupt, and their policies always fail. Marxists and communists don't get elected. They steal. Let's take a break and come back. Hour number 2 of the Rob Carson Show on this Monday. Coming up, don't go anywhere.
This is...
about to hear the most interesting, informative, thought-provoking, and funny show in America. On air and on the World Wide Web. This is the Rob Carson Show.
This is the Rob Carson Show. I hope you had a glorious weekend. I had a very busy weekend. Did a lot of stuff in the studio. Saw some really great music. Saw a young guy performing in Alexandria, Virginia, just with his dad there, and he plays guitar. He was shredding Stevie Ray Vaughan and Eddie Van Halen and Metallica and Jimi Hendrix. I mean, like, unbelievable, this kid. Check out my social media at Rob Carson Show if you want to see him. I mean, just like, it really, really was fun. It was really fun to watch that. I enjoyed that. I had a great crab cake yesterday. It was the second crab cake I had since moving back to the the D.C. area, and it was a gift from God. Oh, my God. It's one of the best things ever. That's what you got to know if you live in the area or you make it to this area. You know, there's a lot of places that have signature items on their menu. Kansas City's got barbecue. Texas has got more Texas barbecue with largely beef. You got, lobster rolls in Boston. You got, Detroit-style pizza in Detroit. You got Chicago deep dish in Chicago. You got, in Cincinnati, chili. Springfield, Illinois, you got the horseshoe. It's weird. Don't even ask. It's weird. It's good, but it's weird. And then in the Maryland area, in Washington, D.C., it is the crab cake. And the crab cake, the blue crab cake, is a gift from God. It just is. There are some things that are just good, and then they're a gift from God. All right, that's my. I have this kind of spectrum when something is very good. Like I'll say something like, pasta is a gift from God. But so is lasagna. Lasagna is pasta, but is a kind of pasta. Say, for instance, spaghetti bolognese, not a gift from God, really good. But lasagna is a gift from God, all right? A steak is a gift from God. The tomahawk ribeye is a gift from God. Strip steak, not so much. It's a pretty good steak. You see what I'm saying? The Maryland crab cake is a gift from God, and I had one yesterday. On social media, every bite of it, Anyway, all my social media is at Rob Carson Show. Tomorrow's election day in Virginia, New Jersey as well. Jack Ciattarelli is running. Ciattarelli's running up there against a leftist up there, and Mikey Sherrill is her name, and Jack is polling really well, and the left is doing everything they can to say that, Donald Trump's economy is this, and this is that, and this and that, and then, of course, using the shutdown, and, of course, the latest deadline for the shutdown to end would be after Election Day. Here is CBS talking about concerns over the shutdown.
Our CBS News poll out this morning shows that Americans are increasingly concerned about the consequences of the government shutdown. 86% now say they're very or somewhat concerned about the impact on the economy, and more than 7 in 10 say they are at least somewhat concerned about the impact on them personally.
Okay, so there you go. People are concerned about the government shutdown. The Democrat Party is doing everything they can to extend the government shutdown, not only because they want to extort $1.5 trillion more out of us to refund NPR, PBS, BS, and then also health care benefits for illegals that the Democrat Party in states like California can use those billions of dollars for anything they want, for any kind of fraud they want. For instance, when it comes to SNAP benefits, it increased 40% under Joe Biden. 21 blue states refused to hand over data to DOJ to ensure illegals aren't getting benefits. Isn't that interesting? We also know that recipients can sell their benefits, sell the things they buy with SNAP or not report income. Criminals can install fake card readers in public places such as grocery stores, gas stations, liquor stores, and whatnot. It's obvious the Democrat Party increased the size and scope of government and the welfare state after flooding the country with illegals for votes. That's just it. Here is Eric Schmidt talking. He was out walking around. Senator Eric Schmidt from Missouri, out walking around, putting 2 and 2 together.
So you want to know when this Schumer shutdown is going to end? This is my prediction.
Yeah.
So the Democrats, this isn't rational. They voted 13 times against opening up the government.
Yeah.
You know how people, air traffic controllers, ICE agents who haven't been paid in over a month. You've got SNAP benefits now that are at risk after November 1st. Those aren't being paid out.
Yeah.
So what's the reason behind this?
What's that?
It's really to appease the radical base, and they're not going to give up until Tuesday, which is when these
They
elections.
want to use it. They want people to suffer because when you're suffering, you look to D.C. as the cause of it, and the person who is in charge is Donald Trump. That's what they think.
Are in New York, in Virginia, in New Jersey. So this effort to sort of act like they're being tough and fighting Trump at every turn, I think it reaches its crescendo Tuesday. I think something breaks on Wednesday. Could be wrong. And then by the end of the week, we reopen the government, and this thing will be exposed for exactly what it was.
Well, it already has been. If you listen to this show, you know exactly what's going on. Here is John Fetterman, the voice of reason in the Democrat Party. It's unbelievable, right? And he knows that it's all on the Democrats.
It's deeply distressing to know that 42 million Americans are going to lose their SNAP benefits. And now that's one of the big reasons why I refuse to shutting our government down. And again, I feel like the Democrats really need to own the shutdown.
Yeah. Here's Martha Raddatz yesterday, and even the liberal media, in the leftist media, knows this is on the Democrats. She's confronting Tim Kaine with the obvious fact that the Democrat Party has shut the government down and is using it as a cudgel.
I'm deeply distressing.
And that is
to
John
know that.
Fetterman again. I want to know that. Here is Martha Raddatz confronting Tim Kaine about shutting down the government.
It has been 33 days. Democrats chose not to support that short-term CR, which would have kept the government open. You could have negotiated. Now, there's some pretty devastating impacts on people looking for SNAP, on air traffic controllers, on air travel. So what have the Democrats gained from this?
Well, I don't look at this as politics.
Oh, dear God in heaven. You are kidding me. Donald Trump did a great interview on 60 Minutes last night. It was altogether, I think, an hour and 30 minutes, so they aired 27 minutes of it, whatever. But here's Donald Trump. And listen, he's not going anywhere on the shutdown. He's not going to capitulate at all on this shutdown. He is not going to give the Democrats what they want, the $1.5 trillion, because they'll do the same damn thing in a couple months.
The problem is they want to give money to prisoners, to drug dealers, to all these millions of people that were allowed to come in with an open border from Biden. Yeah. And nobody can do that. Now, one Republican would ever do that.
My understanding is if those health care subsidies are not extended, premiums will double for many of the people that are on it. And I was looking into it. 3/4 of these people will see their health care premiums double. Live in
I thought Obamacare was going to fix that.
States where you won in the last election. I mean, even here in Florida has the highest number of residents on Obamacare in the country.
And I'm saying we can fix it, Nora.
You have helped end these government shutdowns in the past when they came about, and you did it by bringing.
I'm very good at it,
you
but I'm not going to do it by. I'm not going to do it by extortion.
Yeah, not going to do it by extortion. Nice try, though. Not going to do it by extortion. I have the little montage here that I think is kind of fun of Barack Obama. Remember what the bill of goods they sold us on Obamacare? Here is Obamacare. This is Barack Obama, who was out in Virginia yesterday, and he promised that everything is going to fix when we passed Obamacare.
We will keep this promise to the American people. If you like your doctor, you will be able to keep your doctor. Period. If you like your health care plan, you will be able to keep your health care plan. Period.
If you like your doctor or health care plan, you can keep it.
Nothing in this plan will require you or your employer.
Turns out Obamacare is a crap sandwich without the bread.
To change the coverage of the doctor you have.
The only change you'll see are falling costs as our reform.
Oh, really? Because a family of four used to cost about $12,000 to $15,000 a year, and now it costs between $28,000 and $35,000 a year.
Take hold.
If you like your healthcare system and your doctor,
you know what my healthcare is. If I went with an average plan, I got to go through a faith-based organization. It's going to be about $540 a month. But it was going to cost me close to $900 a month. That's like, what, $11,000 a year, just for me with a $7,000 deductible.
the only thing reform will mean to you is your health care will cost less. I will not sign a plan that adds one dime to our deficits, either now or in the future. It is a cost that will not, I repeat, will not add to our deficits. There will be a provision in this plan that requires us to come forward with more spending cuts if the savings we promised don't materialize. And they will save money in the future and save a typical family an average of $2,500.
None of that happened.
On their health care costs in
it was all a big lie.
Coming years. Knowing you can offer your family the security of health care, that's priceless. Now you can do it
for the cost of your cable bill.
Yeah, none of that happened, did it? None of it happened at all. And this is the same crap that's going on in New York City with Zoran Mandami. He's promising that he's going to take care of housing. He's going to freeze the rents. There's no way to pay for that. He's going to make groceries cheaper by opening government grocery stores. That never works. He is going to give you free bus rides, and the buses are going to go faster, and they are going to run more efficiently. You know why he's saying that? Because he's lying to you. He's absolutely lying to you. It's all a whitewash. It's all an attempt to get you to vote. They have no intention of fixing anything because they never do. They never do fix anything. There you go. Here is Donald Trump being asked last night on 60 Minutes about Zoran Mandami and the possibility of him winning.
Zoran Mandami, 34-year-old Democratic socialist. He's the front
communist, not socialist, communist. He's far worse than a socialist.
Some people have compared him to a left-wing version of you, charismatic, breaking the old rules. What do you think about that?
Well, I think I'm a much better-looking person.
Yeah, of course, he laughed at the question. It's ridiculous for anyone to say that Zoran Mandami, the guy who has less experience than a kid who worked at Orange Julius, one summer in high school, and is a community organizer, has never built anything, has never run anything, has never managed anything. Donald Trump rebuilt the New York skyline. He has built skyscrapers and golf clubs around the world, one of the premier real estate developers in the entire world, an accomplished author, an accomplished one of the most popular TV personalities. He's led an extraordinary life. He's made Kamala Harris paled by comparison. What a joke to even consider her as a competitor for her in the last election. They tried to buy her election with a $1.5 or $2 trillion to get you to buy a crap sandwich. It didn't work. And they're comparing him, this little putz, with Donald Trump. It's laughable. It is laughable at best. We're going to get a little more into what's happening in New York City and how it always fails. John Stossel did a really great piece on socialism and all of the promises that Zoran Mandami are making to get elected, which he has no intention of fulfilling, by the way. He has no intention. He knows they're pie in the sky. That's why he's been so vague about everything. This is what Democrats do. They get in office and they never fix anything. I think I just exemplified that with Barack Obama and Obamacare, now 15 years later, and the lie that was, and everything has only gotten worse and more expensive, and he gets a pass. Let's take a break and come back. This is The Rob Carson Show.
Law enforcement isn't to prevent crime. Law enforcement solves crime, not necessarily prevent them from happening.
Buffoon. Jasmine, she is a buffoon. District no longer exists. Out of the Congress real soon. I'll be glad when she's gone from D.C. No, Jasmine, it will be pure bliss. I know that this may not sound PC. That mouth on her I will not miss. Buffoon. Jasmine is a total fake. Her ghetto accent's not real. How much more can we take? Buffoon. She was drawn out of her seat. Will be in Congress no longer. Her leaving will be a treat.
How do you solve a problem like Antifa? A terrorist group, that is what they are. I'm gonna solve this problem called Antifa. They have gone too far. The Democrats, they support Antifa. Their reign of terror they try to deny. Claim that Soros doesn't fund Antifa, but that's a big fat lie. we are coming after you, Antifa. In towns like Portland where you terrorize, National Guard will help to fight Antifa. They'll cut it down to size. How do you solve a problem like Antifa? They are a hate group in most people's eyes.
We're eating pickles from the dollar store, hot pockets from the Dollar General, chicken wings expired yesterday. We're eating pickles from the dollar store, hot pockets from the Dollar General, chicken wings expired yesterday.
There are big elections. There are big elections on Tuesday, obviously coast to coast, in New Jersey and Virginia and California. There's a referendum on redistricting. In New York City, polls show that the Democratic nominee Zohran Mamdani is in the lead for the mayor's race. You've previously dismissed him as, quote, not even a Democrat, and it is true he's a Democratic socialist. Do you think it would be a mistake for New Yorkers to elect him as mayor? Would you vote for
John Veteran, by the way,
Cuomo if you were a New Yorker, or Sliwa?
No, that's going to be New York's voice. Socialism is not the future of my party.
What?
And if that's going to be their future, that's really up to New York City to decide those things.
Wow.
You know, we all know how socialism works out. Ask anybody that's lived under those kinds.
Oh, this is a Democrat saying socialism never works. Are you kidding me?
Of systems all across the globe. But for me, as a Democrat, as a committed Democrat, I might disagree in some areas, much like shutting down our government or other areas now. But for me, as a committed Democrat, I am going to push back and announce people that this is wrong. And now we are hurting the very people that we fight for.
Now, if John Fetterman were the voice of the Democrat Party would not be polling at under 20%. Because he's speaking like a Kennedy Democrat there. He's speaking like my dad Democrat there. That is the kind of Democrat I can actually have a conversation with. Not the bat guano crazy leftists who march around like this weekend. I went out to dinner with someone. We're down by the Potomac River, and these morons come by out of nowhere, carrying big Palestinian flags with pictures of dead babies. Israel did this, and this little SOB walks into the patio, and he starts handing out flyers. He comes over to me and I stood up. I said, you have no business being here. This is a private establishment. No one here wants to hear your lousy politics. If you want to do it, get a permit and go up to the town square, but get the hell out of here. Oh, my date didn't appreciate. Oh, did I say date? The person I was with, she understood where I was coming from. But I'm going to tell you, I'm not going to take that crap anymore. Get your ass out of my face. That's the left, okay? And they have no business interrupting my meal, coming into my part of town when I'm trying to enjoy the avenue. GTFO. Done with your nonsense. And he beat a hasty retreat. Because I am not a slight man, by the way. I am not a slight man. I'm a very strong man. And so none of them challenged me, because they're all a bunch of little snowflake pieces of crap, and they're not used to getting challenged. And I said, you have no business being here. We don't care what you have to say, and what you're spewing is lies. I'm not going to just quite get out of here. You don't belong in my space when I'm having dinner at this restaurant. Get out of here. Take your damn flyers and get the hell out. Oh, it was It was kind of fun. I was proud of myself, to be quite honest. I was like, I was locked and loaded. I was ready to go. John Stossel was talking about, John Stossel's a great investigative reporter, and he's doing a piece, a series on New York under Zoran Mandami. And by the way, Zoran Mandami is more an Islamist than a socialist. He's just using the tenets of socialism to convince the useful idiots, the young people, that he's going to give them all sorts of free crap. And then he doesn't care. Like the LGBTQIA plus crowd, he doesn't give a rat's ass if they're thrown off buildings in the Middle East. He doesn't care. That's why the radical Islamists in New York, like the World Trade Center bombing an unindicted co-conspirator, still likes him, because he knows that a committed Islamist will lie about anything to get elected.
What he believes is what so many privileged young people believe.
Yeah.
And these socialist ideas are just stupid.
Socialism. Terrifying word.
Mamdani mocks those who
Yeah, because it resulted in 100 million people in body pits last century.
fear socialism. He says democratic socialism just means
The commitment to dignity. A state that provides
we all are committed to dignity, you moron.
whatever is necessary for its people to live a dignified life.
that sounds nice, but a dignified life is not what socialism brings.
No.
Mamdani was more honest about that before he ran for mayor.
The end goal of seizing the means of production.
Seizing the means of production.
Yeah.
That means government controls most everything. To house poor people, government should take over apartment buildings.
Whether you call it the abolition of private property or you call it, just a statewide housing guarantee, it is preferable to what is going on right now.
No, it's not.
But abolition of private property has been tried.
¿Y este edificio? Es un edificio que tiene comercio privado de joyería. Expropiese. Expropiese.
Everywhere it's been tried, government ownership wrecks lives.
Yeah, like, for instance, the government grocery stores, which are, go to Cuba sometime, see how that's working out.
Compare your experience at your profit-seeking grocery store to
dysfunction at the DMV.
Government services bring tedious bureaucracy.
People say hours-long waits have been greeting them at the doors.
I don't want my grocery store run like that.
Shelves are empty at an East Kansas City grocery store.
I went to that Kansas City grocery store by accident before I left Kansas City. I walked in because I thought it was a grocery store, and I was wondering why nobody was in the parking lot, and I went inside, and everything was empty, and it was dystopian, and I was like, what the hell's going on? I found out it's a government grocery store they've spent millions of dollars on, and they can't fill the shelves. But don't worry, he's going to increase taxes on the rich.
Do you think that billionaires have a right to exist?
I don't think that we should have billionaires.
Mamdani says he'll fund his handouts by taxing the rich.
He doesn't mind being funded by them, though.
But wealth taxes never bring in what's promised.
No.
People don't work to pay taxes. Economist Art Laffer famously pointed out that at a certain level, higher taxes stop bringing in more money because rich people work hard to escape high taxes.
Yeah.
They'll change where they earn their income. They'll change how they earn their income. They'll change how much they earn, when they receive the income. They'll change all of those things to minimize taxes.
They will leave the United States.
This billionaire once told me that if New York's taxes go up, rich people will just leave.
Yeah, and they will. They will. They're already committing to it. But I'm not giving up yet. The polls are tight in New York. The polls are tight in Virginia. The polls are tight in New Jersey. And you've got to vote. That's all there is to it. Doug Burns, former federal prosecutor, to talk about Arctic frost coming up on The Rob Carson Show. Don't go anywhere. Hey guys, it's Carson, not proud member of the 4 a.m. club. You know what that is? Well, that's the time that I usually wake up every night and can't get back to sleep. Then I found Beam's Dream Powder. Now, Beam's Dream Powder is made with a powerful blend of all natural ingredients, including reishi, magnesium, L-theanine, apigenin, and melatonin. It's designed to help you fall asleep, stay asleep, and wake up feeling amazing. And unlike other sleep aids, there's no next day grogginess, just great restful sleep. Plus, Dream tastes incredible, and it's become a part of my nightly routine. Simple, easy, effective. Dream is made right here in America, supporting jobs, quality, and the principles we stand for in America. Thank you very much. Beam is going to give my listeners the ultimate Patriot discount, up to 40%. Try their best-selling Dream Powder. Get up to 40% off for a limited time. So with my discount code Newsmax, you can get their best-selling Dream Powder for just $39. Go to shopbeam.com/Newsmax. That's shopbeam.com/Newsmax. Again, use the code Newsmax at checkout. That's beam.com/Newsmax and use code word Newsmax for up to 40% off.
With talent on loan from God, and have my brain tied behind my back, to be fair.
You were the sunshine of our life, Rush. That's why we'll miss you oh so much.
You know, I'm the mayor of Realville here.
You cut down liberals like a knife, Rush.
El Rushball.
Forever you'll be number one.
I am Rush Limbaugh, household name.
America needed a hero
in all four corners of the world.
And then you came to our rescue.
The Limbaugh Institute for Advanced Conservative Studies.
Competition, you had zero. How could so much talent be inside of you?
And don't doubt it.
You were the sunshine of our life, Rush. That's why we listened every day.
That's it. It's not much more complicated than that.
You helped us get through all the strife, Rush. No one will ever take your place, because Rush was the sunshine of our life, of our life, of our life.
Meeting and surpassing all audience expectations every day behind this golden EIB microphone.
Well, they have a lot of cats, and they're mostly Democrats like B.B. Harris. They cry when they lose from their left-wing views. I wish they'd spare us. They're cat ladies. Whoa, 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 they're cat ladies. Talking about some miserable ladies who have clearly lost their mind.
People that are pro-life, I hate you.
Got called out by J.D. Vance. When he had the chance, he really nailed them. They're too dumb to know. Kamala and Joe have really failed them. They're cat ladies. Don't have a child, they're cat ladies. Talking about some miserable ladies who are out of their minds.
Yeah, well, let's start with what we know. So the reason that the FBI got these phone records and can conduct this analysis is that Jack Smith
got a grand jury subpoena for them, and then the FBI takes them and then analyzes it and sends it back to Jack Smith. Arctic Frost is starting to look like an enemies list investigation.
Yeah.
The FBI in 2022 opens up this investigation. This is from the great work of Senator Grassley and Kash Patel, getting these records to the American public. They open up and say, let's look at everybody that was contesting the 2020 election as part of a grand conspiracy. The FBI gets that to Jack Smith. Jack Smith goes and gets the grand jury subpoenas. The grand jury subpoenas bring the phone records in, and before you know it, the FBI is starting to snoop at every phone call that 8 senators and 1 House member made, all of them Republicans. It's a really troubling, I think, diagram of how the deep state was working under Joe Biden. The FBI, the DOJ, working hand in glove to pry into the lives, the conversations, and the data.
They were looking for anything. They were trying to take down MAGA. They were trying to take down MAGA, the movement. That's what they were trying to do. They did their level best to go after Donald Trump. They came up with 91 federal charges, 4 different jurisdictions, all of them, I believe, and will be proven eventually, that they were coordinated, because they all came about almost immediately following Donald Trump's announcement he was going to run for president again. And they had to take not only Donald Trump, but they had to take down the MAGA movement like they did the Tea Party movement. A much easier task for them to do. MAGA was a much tougher row to hoe for them. And fortunately, they're failing. They failed, and now charges are forthcoming, hopefully, and a very massive, hopefully televised investigation and prosecution of the people involved. Doug Burns, former federal prosecutor, joins us on the Newsmax hotline. Doug, how are you today, my friend?
Good, Rob. How are you?
I'm good. Well, first and foremost, let me ask you, do you live in New York proper or you live near New York?
I live in Manhattan, Rob.
You live in Manhattan. Okay. Well, let's get your take on the most important story of the day. To New Yorkers, the possibility of an Islamist communist becoming the mayor of New York. What are you hearing?
Well, I find it a breathtaking change, honestly, in the way an election for a position like this goes down. I mean, you have things like, social media, one-sided media, brainwashing, propaganda, etc. However, and this is a huge however, I've been saying for months that I felt that he may not win, Mondani.
Yes.
I really have.
Well, so have I.
I'm not trying to pose for any crystal ball award, but I'll give you a couple of things that I'm hearing around here. I went in and voted early, the first day, 2 Saturdays ago, whenever it was, and now you hear reports that the early voting numbers are sky high, way up. And 10 times more importantly, Rob, that the demographic of it is older voters, which to me implies that people are seeing through it. I see it a little bit like the federal election for president, which is we need the jury. You always hear me say that. We need the jury to step up and see through what's going on and do the right thing.
Well, I was mentioning earlier, they still saying that Zohran Mamdani, a week ago he was ahead by 20 points. Impossible to possibly win. Today, it's within 7, I guess, is what they're saying with him and possible.
6.
It's 6 now and 6, okay.
I think it's 40-34 right now.
Yeah, and so clearly Zohran Mamdani was able to sneak past using very few votes to win the nomination, and then a lot of outside money being spent on him. By the way, did you know that the same people backing Zohran Mamdani are backing the lieutenant governor candidate in the state of Virginia?
No surprise.
Yeah, no surprise. These are people who want to put people in place. Mamdani always talks about billionaires. He doesn't want any billionaires, but he loves billionaires' money when they are buying his and paying for his campaign. But when I heard that he was the candidate in December, I said, I don't think New York, considering, first of all, the Jewish population, are going to fall for this guy. Now, I have kind of had to temper my words because you're battling with people who are absolutely in your face every day. But, he's out in front of the polls. He's 20 points ahead. It's a fait accompli. He's going to be. Literally, I've been hearing for months now. He's going to be the mayor, Doug. And
there's another point. Yeah, another point that must be made, which is, I mentioned things that I described as, somewhat new or newer, social media, brainwashing in media. But another thing is this business of identity politics and playing race and ethnic cards from the bottom of the deck every minute. So in this race, as it has unfolded, it's just breathtaking. The guy literally looked in a camera. He said that his aunt, after 9/11, was ashamed to wear a hijab. Turned out it was his father's cousin who's deceased. But again, the reaction out of that is always, oh, what are you, anti-Muslim for? And we've seen this movie before, over and over and over with the Democrats. But again, I think Cuomo pulls it out. Call me crazy.
Doug, I mentioned this last week because I finally put two and two together. Because Mandami was found by Linda Sarsour in 2017. He is an Islamist first. All of the things that you're promising, he has no intention of fulfilling. This is why he's being so vague on the rent control and who's going to do it. And he's just going to, because he has no intention of fulfilling those promises. He's only going to be elected. This is why the radical Islamists are glad handing him, even though he's pro-LGBTQIA+, because they know he's lying. He's using these lefty kids, just like Lyndon used the useful idiots when he was ascending into power. It's the same thing, Doug, and I think people are beginning to see through it.
That's a great analysis, no question about it. But now let me segue into something, not so much in my area of expertise, but I mean, I'm sitting on the set the other day doing a segment over the weekend, and then Dick Morris comes on. He made an unbelievable point, Rob. Love to get your reaction, honestly. He said that the Mandami phenomenon, if he gets elected, could help the Republicans hold the House in the midterms. I thought that was fascinating.
Well, yeah, of course. And even, hell, I even heard John Fetterman, he says, Rob, or he didn't say Rob, he said the Democrat Party is not going to go socialist. The Democrat Party have not pivoted. They have not changed since 2024. They haven't learned anything. They're leaning into the left, and it's not going to work. It may have worked to get Mandami noticed. It may have gotten him through the primary. He sneaked in. But I don't think the Democrat Party, at least Democrat voters, are willing to go, I'm going to be a socialist. I'm going to be... What? Go ahead.
Right. But I'm sorry. Here's the question that I have not been able to answer. I like to think that I'm, a logic person. Is what I do for a living. So the point is, why has the far left wing, which I'm going to assume, I could be wrong, but I'm going to assume that that's not the statistical majority of Democrats, how have they been able to co-opt and take over the party?
Because they're bullies. Because they're bullies. You cannot disagree with them. If you do, you're an Islamist. You're a homophobe. You're a transphobe. You're an Islamophobe. You're this. You're a that. They're very vocal. And listen. You can tell the Democrat Party is not behind this guy. I mean, Hakeem Jeffries tacitly endorsed him, but Schumer hasn't. And Obama didn't technically, but Kathy Hochul, by the way, you know what happened when she endorsed him? Listen to this. Let me find here. Listen to this. Here you go.
A surprising new poll from the Manhattan Institute shows that Congresswoman Elise Stefanik leads Governor Kathy Hochul in the 2026 New York gubernatorial race. The conservative think tank.
Okay, there you go. Now, when was the last time you heard a Democrat or a Republican out ahead a year out from an election? The Democrat Party is not ready to get behind this communist.
Right. Well, I was going to add to the Dick Morris point that that could easily swing the governor's mansion back to the Republicans in New York State. So the point is, but then there's always a counter argument. So somebody threw me a curveball. It was interesting the other day, and they said,
Can you hold on to the curveball? Can you hold on to the curveball?
Absolutely.
Okay, because we got to take a break and come back. More with Doug Burns about this election. Also, I want to get into Operation Arctic Frost on the other side of the break. This is the Rob Carson Show.
I'm also have to balance governing this state and making sure that those people who are actually the reason we have a generous, supportive budget that helps lift people up, it's their revenues that we tax. 1.5% of New Yorkers cover about a third of our budget. That's enormous. I'm concerned about out-migration of people who are the ones who are supporting our budget. I cannot make up for that with middle-class tax increases. I cannot do that to the middle class and the struggling New Yorkers. So this is the balance. I mean, this is my position.
Well, that is Kathy Hochul admitting that when rich people leave, you cannot support a wealthy, welfare state. She's admitting that Zohran Mamdani's plan will do a face plant. Doug Burns.
We hate really rich people, but please don't leave, please. Now, the curveball really quick, because I know you want to talk about the Arctic Frost thing, where somebody made a rather crude joke comparing that somehow to Hillary Clinton, but I'll let you unpack that one, Rob. But joking aside,
Arctic Frost.
No, the curveball was that there may not be sufficient time for Mamdani to flame out and or crash and burn before the midterms. It's just food for thought.
Well, we will see.
I don't know.
Well, Donald Trump has said he's not going to help at all. He's not going to help New York at all. That's going to make a big difference. Let me see if I've got. Thought I might have some Trump sound. He's getting rid of all the assistance for the state of New York. That's not going to help much. As far as fulfilling campaign promises, they usually give it a year or two. But in the case of like Barack Obama, it's been 15 years since Obamacare was passed, and it is quadrupled the price, or at least tripled the price of health care, and he's still not being held accountable for it. That said, I do want to mention Arctic Frost. I had this interesting piece, Gateway Pundit, talking about the charges that could be filed, that Pam Bondi could file against Boasberg for among other things, deprivation of rights under color of law, and several other things, because he went after 20% of Republican senators, surveilling them and then not telling them because he said that they might destroy evidence or intimidate other people, which is utterly ridiculous. Your thoughts on the charges that could be filed and the possibility of a very large, expansive investigation and possibly Watergate-style hearings?
Yeah, I mean, for a federal judge to idiotically, and that's not too strong, say, I'm concerned that Senator Ted Cruz, a Harvard Law School graduate who clerked for Chief Justice William Rehnquist, he's going to destroy records. There's nothing to indicate that, number one, and then you have the reputation I just laid out, number two. So he was way, way, way out of line and way over the ski tips. Now, to your question, there's a federal criminal statute. It makes it a crime to deprive people of their rights. And obviously, if you're engaging in illegal spying on people, and you can put the proof together to demonstrate it, which I'm pretty sure that they can, you may see something. But again, I've said this once, I'll say it again till I'm blue in the face. This is no surprise, zero surprise whatsoever to me, who's been covering it and following it as you have, and it shouldn't be any surprise to your audience and everybody else, which is that there's absolutely no question whatsoever that Joe Biden, he walks around, like he's some, down the middle figure, but he is a harsh proponent of misusing government against his political enemies. And then you just segue forward where they have no choice other than to accuse the Trump side of doing that which they did for years and years and years.
I was fantasizing the other day because Newsmax was on the list of people who were being surveilled.
Yes.
And I was fantasizing about the possibility of Newsmax suing the crap out of the federal government. What's the possibility of an organization that was under government surveillance, unwarranted government surveillance, seeking some sort of recompense with regard to... what they did.
Again, it boils down to the proof, obviously. What exactly can you demonstrate that they were trying to look at? But, I mean, again, there is just no question. I mean, people talk about Richard Nixon and Tricky Dick and dirty politics and enemies lists. It's the exact same thing.
Yeah, but much bigger. I mean, much bigger, much more expansive. It makes Watergate look like a parking ticket. You know that, Doug. I mean, dear God in heaven, are you kidding me? It was a fart in the wind compared to what's going on right now. Well, let's look at Jack Smith and Boasberg. Chances of their impeachment, disbarment, and possible, imprisonment.
Well, impeachments, pretty tough with the federal judges, not because it's not warranted, by the way, but because, it just hasn't happened all that much.
Gotcha.
Disbarment definitely in play, for sure, if you can show that somebody illegally engaged in surveillance against a political enemy. Again, you've heard me say, and I just say it one other time, to me the goal is to have those on the left who idiotically and moronically lectured me, oh, those are right-wing talking points. I have a friend who was in the Department of Justice for 40 years. He told me those are nothing more than right-wing talking points. Oh, okay. He's not even that liberal, by the way.
Yeah.
All of that's been debunked. No, so the point is, the most staunch left-side people, the brainwashees, as it were, reading, the New York Times and all of that, they're starting to realize this is real, Rob.
Yeah, let me ask you this also, but we got to run real quick here. 4 political indictments, 91 charges. I believe it'll be easy to prove that those were coordinated. Do you see that happening?
No, the coordination. I'm sorry. Yeah, I wanted to just quickly address your comment about that. I couldn't agree with you more. There was tons and tons of coordination. You had Fonnie Willis and Nathan Wade literally walking into the White House. Come on. Yeah. And again, John Gotti, neither John Gotti nor Al Capone were indicted 4 times at the same time. It was absolutely breathtakingly absurd.
All right, brother. Well, I appreciate you, and I wish you the best. And I'm standing by my prediction. I think that despite that they're trying to overwhelm us with propaganda that it's a fait accompli that Zohran Mamdani's going to win, but I just don't see New Yorkers electing a radical Islamist. We will see, brother. God bless you. Appreciate you being on the show today. Maybe we can talk tomorrow if you get some time. Okay, bro?
All right, man. Thanks for having me. I'll talk to you soon.
All right, let's take a break and come back. This is the Rob Carson Show. All righty. Who's watching? Oh, busy show today. Let's go over to Rumbly Roo. Are chili and gumbo people the same? That's an interesting question. Oddly enough, I was talking about gumbo and jambalaya yesterday, and how the Missouri and Louisiana, there's a corridor of Cajun cuisine that goes right up through the heart of the Midwest. Chili's not a big deal in New Orleans. So I'm going to say no. There are people who like both, but I think that the diehards are going to be on either side. Somebody who really does is a chili cook. People who are gumbo and jambalaya chefs, they're going to stick with that. That's what they're good at. So I don't think they cross streams. I think there are people that like both. This is what I had to say. I know a lot about cooking and all that, so I did some cooking this weekend. I'm going to do some cooking tomorrow. I'm going to be making some pear bread, among other things. Who's watching on the YouTubeage? Desert Dog still on there. Hello. Great job, Rob. Thank you, Mickey Hastings. I appreciate you. I hope you're enjoying the show. Ooh, I know what I'm going to do next. I'm going to play some comedy from Jim Gossett. How's that sound? Deplorable Dinosaur, what's up? Oh, I Cubed said nice wall about the new studio here. Oh, wait till you see what I'm doing in this TV studio. You have no idea. It's going to look like late night television in Washington, D.C. Because I'm the only person in the country doing political satire and a conservative show from Washington, D.C. I know. Here we go.
320.
So this weekend, Michelle Obama, who sold a bunch of books and has never done a damn thing in her life, but hitched her wagon to Barack, got a $300,000 a year gig on a board of directors at a hospital right after graduating from college. Hasn't had to do a damn thing, but here she is playing rectum. Oh, I'm sorry, I meant victim. She says it was so hard, even though everybody just, slobbered all over her and Barack when the media slobbered all over him, Hollywood slobbered all over him, treated him like royalty, but she says she was a victim.
You said we were all too aware that as a first black couple, we couldn't afford any missteps.
Yeah.
And you also say, as a black woman, I was under a particularly white-hot glare. Did you feel that?
For sure. You can't afford to get anything wrong because you didn't get at least until the country came to know us, we didn't get the grace that I think some other families have gotten.
You got more grace than anyone could ever imagine. Did you see how they savaged Melania Trump during the first administration? My God, woman, you're so freaking spoiled and entitled, I can't stand it. Here is Jim Gossett singing about
We didn't get the grace that I think some other families have gotten.
Wine on, wine for us some more. Michelle will soon.
Is that Barack?
Seems like she's been whining since January, February, April, and June.
Yeah.
When she does an interview, it is a sign.
Never had to work a day in her life.
That Michelle is gonna whine. She whines all the time.
I wish I was that kind of victim.
Waited on by hand and foot.
Yeah.
Was Michelle. She must have a new book or podcast or something that she wants to sell. She's a millionaire who's never satisfied.
Yeah, she's a crybaby.
Make Michelle stop whining. I've tried.
2 seaside mansions.
I've tried.
Yeah, 2 seaside mansions she's got, man. They literally tore down the mansion in in Hawaii that was in Magnum PI. They bought the mansion, they tore it down so they could have a seaside mansion. They're worth hundreds of millions of dollars. Crybaby whiners. Wouldn't it be nice if you could just not only have enough money to make it for a month without a paycheck? Wouldn't it be amazing? But here's old Michelle, who's worth hundreds of millions of dollars for doing nothing in her entire life. And she's complaining about, they didn't treat us with the grace. They kissed your butt for years, and you didn't do anything. You are the worst kind of entitled. I'm just so done. Done with you and your beta male husband. Dear God, your soy latte husband who rides a bike side saddle. Dear God. Let's take a break and come back. Last hour of the Rob Carson Show is right ahead. Don't go anywhere.
Hold it now.
You are about to hear the most interesting, informative, thought-provoking, and funny show in America. On air and on the World Wide Web. This is the Rob Carson Show.
This is the Rob Carson Show. It's hour number 3, day before Election Day tomorrow in Virginia, New Jersey, New York. Among other things, we will see on all of them the races tightened up in Virginia and New Jersey. And, it depends on who you want to believe. The left, the Democrats are doing everything they can to make it seem like that Zoran Mondami's election is a fait accompli. They've been telling you that for months now, by the way. And they've been telling people in Virginia that, Winsome Sears can't win, although about 2 weeks ago the polls were neck and neck, and now suddenly her opponent has a 7-point lead, and the same goes in New Jersey with Jack Ciattarelli. I think Ciattarelli's going to pull it out. But you know who the hell knows? Who you're lying into right now? Though the Democrat Party isn't giving people a real reason to vote for them because they are leaning into leftism. I stand by my original prediction back when Zoran Mondami won. I didn't feel it was possible that he could win the city of New York. We shall see. We shall see. He is not who he says he is. He is not. He may be a socialist, but he is more an Islamist than anything else. He is a radical Islamist. Otherwise, why would radical imams still embrace him if he is so down with the LGBTQIA plus agenda and cross-dress hormones for children and all that stuff? Because he's saying what he has to do. I'm still just, really so damn tired of Michelle Obama. We didn't get the grace other first families received. She had her butt kissed for, name one time in her tenure as the first lady that she was ever held to account on anything. Go ahead. Tell me one time that Michelle Obama was criticized or anything. Nothing. They left the kids alone. They kissed their butts. They were the cause celeb. Barack Obama, when he announced his candidacy, they brought in Doric columns. They did it at a Coliseum in Denver, and they act like, and they didn't touch him because he had that card. He had that race card. He could just play whenever he wanted. And the same goes with Michelle Obama. And for her to claim victim, she's pushing a new book called The Look, a deep dive into her White House wardrobe and what it really meant. Oh my God, people buy this pap. For her, of all the people, but this is that sense of privilege, this white privilege exists and all of this that Barack Obama ushered in, that white people were somehow privileged when most of us white people really busted our asses building the country. Most of us, in fact, before the Industrial Revolution, most of us lived in absolute poverty. Didn't have slaves because our ancestors didn't arrive here until, 60 years after slavery. And I'm just so tired of her nonsense. Of all of the things that she could do. The Queen Michelle complaining about, we weren't given the grace other. You were given 1,000 times the grace that Melania Trump was given when she was the first lady, when they criticized her every move, when they didn't invite her to appear on Glamour magazine and all these other magazines like they did you, even though she's the most beautiful first lady in American history, even over Jackie O. Oh my God, are you kidding? So I'm kind of done with her. I was done with her a long time ago. I'm super, super, super done with her now. There you go. Obama is prepared to set up efforts to resist Trump. Not so sure the country will survive his presidency. This is all bullcrap. According to CNN, two-time former president, not sure that the country will survive Donald Trump's presidency. He's full of crap. His dreams of a fundamentally changed America to a communist Marxist model is not going to survive Donald Trump. And he just can't stand that his plans are going down in flames. And I do mean that from the bottom of my heart. It's going to go down in flames. The left is going to go down in flames. Their moist dream of the class of 1968 is going down in flames. The Democrat Party is, and I told you years ago that the Democrat Party would have to rethink their trajectory or disappear into the dustbin of history. Of all people who could say that they're disappearing into the dustbin of history, are you ready? You better sit down for this, because Bill Maher agrees with me. Bill Maher absolutely agrees with me. Here he is saying that the Democrat Party is the new Sears.
I fear the Democratic Party
is at risk of becoming a ghost brand too. Like Sears, it used to be mighty and ascendant and popular. Sears once accounted for 1% of the entire American economy and 41% of the appliance market, and built the country's tallest tower. Democrats once controlled Congress and the Supreme Court, or at least competitive. But now, even at a time when President Trump is turning 250 years of democracy into jeans shorts, the Democrats have their lowest rating in 35 years, 63% unfavorable. What happened?
Now, they're going to win the midterms.
I don't know. What happened to Sears? It used to be synonymous with the American dream because it kept faith with what the customer wanted. Did we love Sears? No, but that was besides the point. You just went. It was like an Avatar movie that sold tools.
We were never a Sears family. I don't know. We were more of a J.C. Penney, a Jacques Penney family because my sister worked there. I worked there in high school. I worked there in high school, and it was hell. I worked in the catalog department. They used to have a thing called the catalog department. You'd have to order stuff from the catalog, and then people would come to the store and pick up the stuff they ordered from the catalog, and they were usually disappointed and pissed off. And then I had the gift wrap stuff. That was fun. I had to do the gift wrapping too. Oh my God, that was a hell job. My God, terrible job. Here's more on what Bill Maher thinks of the Democrat Party, and I agree with this too. I agree 100%. And if they go the Mondami way in New York City, they're done.
Now, Sears is a great place to go if you want to be alone. But you better hurry. Sears used to have 3,500 stores, and now it has 5.
Yeah.
Same thing.
I didn't think they had any.
Happened to Playboy, except in silk pajamas and a captain's hat.
Oh, yeah. Playboy. I used to, I'll just not be too personal, but my dad had Playboys in his drawer, and I had Playboys upstairs in the cold air return, and he would steal mine, and then I'd steal his.
For 66 years, Playboy magazine was also a fact of American life.
Yeah.
Sears sold your father a mattress, and Playboy was what he hid under it.
That's what he did, right there. Nobody's ever going to look in there. Yeah, I know. I probably said too much. But anyway, that's the way it was. But here's Bill Maher, once again, comparing the Democrat Party, and this is... It should be obvious. You see, the Democrat Party has controlled the narrative for so long. They've been able to run roughshod over us. Barack Obama was able to be in office for 8 years, despite the GDP of the country rolling at about 1% for 8 years. An economy that just ebbed along, almost did nothing at all, caught fire when Donald Trump was the president. Then, of course, they rigged the 2020 election, and they did. Give me a friggin' break. They rigged the 2020 election, and Joe Biden came into office, and then the economy went to absolute crap. Inflation, grocery prices increased 50%, new car prices increased by 30%, used car prices up 50% minimum, sometimes even doubling. And you're still paying for that right now. The average price for a used car is $25,000. A used car is $25,000. You can't find anything under $12,000 worth of crap. You can't. It's absolute crap. You can blame that on the Joe Biden economy, among other things. And also home prices, of course, doubled. But here is Bill Maher comparing the Democrat Party to another institution, this one in New York.
Anybody remember Barney's? It was this store in New York that started in the 1920s, as a discount clothing joint on unfashionable, grimy 7th Avenue, a place where their customers, the working man, could get a decent suit at a very reasonable price. They opened a place on Madison Avenue, Barney's did, where you could buy one suit for $5,000. They wanted a party with the cool kids, and for a while they got to. For a while. Now they're a ghost brand that exists as a mini boutique inside one Saks store. And I'm not making this up just because it's Halloween, but after Barney's closed for good in 2020, it became, yes, a spirit Halloween. I'm just saying, Democrats need to get their together because America needs 2 political parties, not one party and one Halloween store.
Yeah, there you go.
Thank you very much.
That doesn't sound very optimistic, does it? The Democrat Party nationally, they're saying, we're going to win the midterms. My God, we're going to win the midterms. We're going to sweep tomorrow. Really? Really? What are you doing? What are you doing? Shutting down the government, watching people suffer, and then trying to blame it on Donald Trump. And that's not working. It's not working. Here's another one of the emails that I've gotten. Metro Transit Alert. Card authorization failed. This is from Cloud Whatever Support at IndianRiverCitrusGifts.com. I don't even know what the hell this means. My last payment failed. This is your final reminder. Unresolved accounts will be automatically locked until billing is updated. Problem is, I don't have this account. They're trying to get my credit card information, but you see, I'm not an idiot. There you go. And you know what? You don't have to be an idiot to let it slip, because sometimes you get confused. You go, oh, yeah, I don't want to miss my bills. This is why you need WebRoot Total Protection for your computer. This is why you need WebRoot Total Protection for your computer. Real-time antivirus protection against emerging threats like malware, ransomware, phishing like that, Firework and Network Monitor web threat shields and detects and blocks malicious websites before you visit them. Family protection includes students and seniors, people who are vulnerable, up to $1 million in expense reimbursement for stolen funds and whatnot. This is what they do. They do it every day. They do it every day. Phishing you in one way or another. On my phone, I got another text. Hey, how have you been? Haven't talked in a while. Really? I don't recognize your number and I don't recognize your name. Bleep you! And it gets worse. That's why you need WebRoot Total Protection VPN for 5 or 10 devices. Select your connection from 80 locations in 65 countries. Go to webroot.com/Carson for 60% off for one device. $20 for a year. $20 for a year. What? Yeah. Webroot.com/Carson. That's webroot.com/Carson for total protection from WebRoot Total Protection. Let's take a break and come back. This is The Rob Carson Show.
Texting enrolls you in a
who's ruined his state. Now he wants our children to self-mutilate. His policies are disgusting and lewd. And now he says schools have to include tampons in the boys' room. Tampons in the boys' room. Tim Walz and Kamala, a couple of fools. And everybody knows that liberals want to ruin schools. Tim allowed his cities to be burned by BLM. Criminals, illegals, they can count on Tim. His uniform, Tim was disgraced. He really crossed the line the moment that he placed tampons in the boys' room. Tampons in the boys' room. Tim Walz is a commie. Kamala is too, and everyone should know the damage that these two could do.
Well, I'm gonna pay a visit. I'm headed to the Everglades. Gonna see a brand new prison for folks arrested in ICE raids. I hear it's already getting all kinds of accolades. Alligator Alcatraz, it's where illegals will be kept. We're cracking down unlike Biden, who is totally inept. It is something that the liberals in Florida cannot accept. California Alcatraz, I want to open that one too. Just imagine the hard time that real criminals will do. Alligator Alcatraz, I'm gonna take a tour of you.
to play you right now the most audacious and ridiculous thing you'll hear today. And that is Gavin Newsom, the man who is as fake as his veneers. I mean, honestly, right? I mean, the most fake, insincere person ever in American politics, other than Barack Obama. I mean, it's very obvious. Remember when he closed down the state, then he went and had celebrated a 50th birthday party with friends at the French Laundry restaurant where bottles of wine are $1,000, and he came back and he's his veneers were showing, and he's like, and he had a million different ways to gloss over it. And he's lied about the high-speed rail supposed to cost $30 billion, should have been opened 5 years ago. It's cost $130 billion, and not one single line of track has been laid. He promised he's going to cure homelessness starting in 2008 in San Francisco. Homelessness is now the highest it has ever been in California, and they've lost $30 billion on it. He is a fake, a fraud, a phony, a liar about everything. After the fires that destroyed a good share of L.A., nothing has been rebuilt. Nothing has been rebuilt. But he just was able to gloss over with his veneers and his slick back hair. But listen to this. Listen to this, what he's saying. This is just remarkable.
Nothing I dislike more than the politician that sits there and lies to you. And we all just sit there rolling our eyes going, give me a break.
Do you suppose either he knows that the media will gloss over this, or he's so unaware or not self-aware to recognize that he projects and is a phony and a liar?
Nothing I dislike more than the politician that sits there and lies to you. And we all just sit there rolling our eyes going, give me a break.
So he's saying the opposite, so you'll believe the opposite. That's a tactic of the left. Here he is saying that he was misled on Joe Biden's mental acuity when everybody knew and everybody knows that Joe Biden has some form of dementia, some sort of degenerative brain disorder. It's obvious. It's obvious. We now know it was covered up. We know that everybody surrounding, including his doctor, pled the fifth because they all knew it. They did an investigation into him hoarding and stealing classified confidential documents. And the only reason he didn't get charged for it, impeached for it, was because the guy who put together the investigation said that the jurors would look at him as a poor old man with poor memory, meaning they didn't think he was mentally fit to stand trial.
Did you legitimately believe that he was capable of serving as president until January of 2029?
Yeah, I think my focus was frankly situational.
Okay. So did you think Joe Biden would be able to be the president until 2029? And he said, a nonsense answer, I was focused on things that were situational. What the hell does that mean?
Making sure Donald Trump didn't get back into office.
I was more focused on Donald Trump not getting into office than the fact the president of the United States was not cognitively fit to be the president.
Experience everything that we're experiencing today, and there was no interaction I had that suggested otherwise.
What do you say to Americans who feel misled by you and other top Democrats
in what respect? He decided to step
about
down.
The mental acuity of President Biden, that they wish you'd sounded the alarm sooner to give way for an open convention?
I'm not going to substitute myself for someone else.
Oh, God, he's such a fake. Dear God in heaven. Here he is claiming that Donald Trump is unpopular. Donald Trump is unpopular, and he's going to rig the midterms.
Donald Trump is an historic president, historically unpopular. He's
doing a great job as president, actually.
Very open and honest, including right outside the White House just last week, saying incumbents are likely to lose the midterms.
No, they're not, actually, because the Democrat Party is doing nothing good.
That's why he called Greg Abbott. That's why he said he's, quote unquote, entitled. Think about that. Entitled to 5 seats. That's why he sent J.D. Vance to Indiana shortly thereafter. That's why he moved in in Missouri.
No, he's just trying to level the playing field because the Democrat Party had been cheating for so long.
He moved the folks in.
This is why he's getting rid of the mail-in voting. This is why he's deporting illegals, much to your chagrin.
North Carolina, and now we've got a special election in Indiana, or rather a special session, and likely movement in Florida. He is not screwing around. He's changing the rules. He's rigging the game because he knows he'll lose.
No, not at all. You're absolutely wrong. And one of the bellwethers will be tomorrow, we'll see. But right now, like Kathy Hochul is polling behind Elise Stefanik. And Jack Ciattarelli is neck and neck with Mikey Sherrill in New Jersey. That shouldn't happen. But everybody knows the Democrat Party is off the rails. Donald Trump was on 60 Minutes last night. He was confronted after 91 political charges, and 4 political indictments that came right after he announced he was a president. And now, last night on 60 Minutes, they decided to challenge him on why he's going after the people who went after him, they actually did wrongdoing, unlike Donald Trump.
James Comey, John Bolton, Letitia James were all recently indicted. There's a pattern to these names. They're all...
there was a pattern to the 91 charges against Donald Trump and the 4 political indictments, you see.
Public figures who have publicly...
Why weren't you concerned about that pattern?
...denounced you. Is it political retribution?
You know what? You know who got indicted? The man you're looking at.
Yeah.
I got indicted, and I was innocent. And here I am because I was able to beat all of the nonsense that was thrown at me. And yet, when you go after a dirty cop like Comey, or a guy like Bolton, who I hear I don't know anything about it. I hear he took records all over the place. Who knows? Letitia James is a terrible, dishonest person, in my opinion.
Did you instruct the Department of Justice to go after them?
Not in any way, shape, or form. No, you don't have to instruct them because they were so dirty, they were so crooked, they were so corrupt that the honest people we have, Pam Bondi's doing a very good job.
Yeah, and you see, the thing is, the people, not only were their actions illegal by weaponizing their offices against Donald Trump to create charges from whole cloth, but they also were committing some of the same acts while they were in their positions, you see. So they committed criminality on 2 parts there. They weaponized their offices against Donald Trump while they were committing the same things, like Letitia James and mortgage fraud. And Donald Trump wasn't committing mortgage fraud. They made it up. Let's take a break and come back. Justine Brooke Murray, Gen Z influencer. She's awesome. Joins us next. Don't go anywhere.
Life can be full of risks. One thing you shouldn't take a risk with ever is your family's health insurance. If you're self-employed or you now need affordable health insurance, you need
I think everyone should have what they need.
Now
I'm
and
literally
see how the health insurance helpline.
Hey guys, it's Carson. Forget fresh olive oil. I eat olive oil every day. I got rid of seed oils years ago. Life is too short to not have wonderful fresh olive oil, and I mean fresh. Olive oil packs the most flavor and healthy ingredients when it's fresh from the farm. And that's the problem with supermarket olive oils. They're not fresh. They can sit on the shelf for months growing stale. That's why I get my olive oil from small, award-winning farms, thanks to a fellow named T.J. Robinson, also known as the Olive Oil Hunter. When I tasted TJ Farms' fresh olive oils, I fell in love with their vibrant, grassy flavors. They're incredibly delicious on salad, veggies, pasta, meat, fish, you name it. And as an introduction to his Fresh Pressed Olive Oil Club, TJ is willing to send you a full-size $39 bottle of one of the world's finest artisanal olive oils, fresh from the new harvest, for just $1 to help him cover shipping. There's no commitment to buy anything now or later. Get your free $39 bottle for just $1 and taste the difference freshness makes. Go to GetFreshRobCarson.com. That's GetFreshRobCarson.com for a free bottle and pay just $1 shipping. GetFreshRobCarson.com.
I won't mask, don't ask me. I won't mask, don't ask me. I won't mask aboard a plane. and I won't wear one in a car or a train. Mandate, not needed. Freedoms, we've ceded. And now Joe, he wants it back. A new mask mandate is his latest attack. Joe wants you to mask when you are flying. The rationale for this nobody's buying. Claiming it's essential, simply lying. Yeah, it's appalling. It's like Joe Stalin. And that's why I won't mask. Can't make me to jail. You can't take me. I won't mask for you again. The flight attendants, they can casually ask. But when I'm flying on a plane, I won't mask. Arizona and Corona, all the lies about them they've been telling you. How did they win it? The freaking Senate, when the votes that they received were very few. Don't catch the stupid, don't buy their BS. That climate change is real, inflation's not. Don't catch the stupid, don't believe them, because distraction and diversion's all they got. We all know that Hurricane Ian was the result of global warming. Russian collusion led to confusion. January 6th is a smokescreen. The new Green Deal is a disguise steal, like their mandate forcing you to take vaccine. Don't catch the stupid, you just can't do it. That in women's sports, men should compete. They're teaching sex ed in kindergarten. Their destructive policies we must defeat. Like wear a mask, don't wear a mask. Statues have fallen, it's so appalling to ignore Hunter's laptop and his theft. Don't catch the stupid, reject their nonsense. Everything is stupid on the left.
How do you explain like Huckabee, Ted Cruz, and there are a lot like that, John Bolton. I mean, I've known them all, George W. Bush, like Karl Rove. I mean, all people I know personally who I've seen like be seized by this brain virus, and they're not Jewish. Most of them are self-described Christians, and then the Christian Zionists who are, well, Christian Zionists.
I guess I'm a Christian Zionist. I never realized that was a bad thing. Tucker Carlson interviewed this guy named Nick Fuentes, and I have not spoken a lot about this today because there are too many other things to concern myself with. And Tucker Carlson's musing with Nazi, I guess. I don't know this guy. But he and Candace Owens both have, for some reason, decided to commit career suicide. That's what I would consider it, because I'm a friend of the Jewish state and a friend of Israel, and I refuse to have that turned against me. It is utterly ridiculous. I don't understand it. I used to be such a fan of Tucker Carlson, and I think Candace Owens is freaking nuts, to be honest. I'd love to know our next guest, Gen Z influencer, commentator, absolutely brilliant, Justine Brooke Murray. You can call her Justine Murray. I thought of JBM, but how do you like to be? Should we go with Justine Brooke Murray or just Justine Murray, or what are you doing here?
Yeah, just call me Justine. I added in the Brooke because Brooke is my middle name, but I just use that as a stage name because it sounds fancier.
It does. It does. How have you been, by the way?
I've been well. Yeah, how have you been?
I'm glorious. I saw you on Jimmy Fallon's show on Saturday night in New York City. Good job, girl.
Thank you so much. Yep, it was my late night debut.
I love it.
He's hysterical.
Yeah.
It was so much fun joining, and it's also great to be able to visit home a lot because, of course, I'm from Jersey, so I used to commute to New York every day.
Yeah.
And it's quite the difference now between Union Station and then landing in Port Authority. Union Station, President Trump got rid of all the crackheads.
Oh my God.
Sadly, in Port Authority, it's just back to their usual ways.
Yeah.
But we'll see how that changes after.
Well, you're really
Tuesday.
popping, girl. You're really popping. You're doing some really great, very pithy, very smart, short videos, and you're reaching a lot of people. And I just think you're doing a great job. Let me ask you this: what do you think about this appearance by Nick Fuentes with Tucker Carlson and Tucker Carlson in general? There's a lot of people who are giving him a lot of backlash about this, and I got to say, I used to love to watch Tucker on Fox, and I was listening to his podcast and find it hard to find time to listen to his podcast, and now I'm kind of like, I don't want to listen to him at all. What do you think?
We need to call out bad ideas and bad things, no matter what side. And I think that's something everyone should be able to unify on. There seems to be a horseshoe theory, and at that horseshoe theory, you'll have leftism and then fascism, or communism and fascism, and they all kind of join together, and they're the same thing, and they preach the same thing. It's this hatred towards Jews, this hatred towards anyone who doesn't toe their line. So to be, free Americans and to embrace American patriotism, we have to call it all out.
Yeah. What about Candace Owens? What's up with her? I mean, honestly, I don't know. Do you suppose she has some sort of degenerative issue with her? I don't even know. I don't even know what to say. She's gone so nuts on everything from going after the president of France's wife, supposedly being a man. Why was that important to anyone?
Yeah. Well, you'll hear the things she preaches, and it's the same type of identitarianism that you'll find spewed by BLM. In fact, there's some claims in some old videos that have surfaced where she actually had supported these so-called hate speech rules and supported left-wing identitarianism, and suddenly she was embraced by the right. I used to love Candace. But then it seems like she's going back to her old ways, just masking it under the guise of being conservative when it's really, it's really not. It's all the same Marxist type of hatred.
It's bizarre.
Identitarianism. We're looking at racial and ethnic Marxism. And we need to stamp it out.
Yeah. What do you think about what's happening tomorrow in New York? I kind of put two and two together last week and figured out why Zohran Mamdani is promising so many things when there's no way on earth they can become a reality. And at the same time, I mentioned, Justine, that you've got 9/11 or 1993 World Trade Center bombing co-conspirator glad-handing with a guy who is supposedly down with the radical LGBTQIA plus agenda. And to me, what that said was he is radical Islamist first, and he's saying the other things to get the useful idiots of the left, the youth, to vote for him. And when he gets into office, none of that is going to get done. What are your thoughts on Zohran Mamdani?
This is part of the media's worst gaslighting campaign, I think, in American history. Aside from gaslighting on Biden being decrepit, covering that up, this is probably the second worst gaslighting campaign because the media is calling us all evil Islamophobes for simply noticing, for simply mentioning that Mamdani posed with this unindicted co-conspirator in the 93 bombings, and also that he posed with a Twitch streamer who says that America deserves 9/11. Then he refuses to condemn Hamas, and God forbid you call that out. You're an Islamophobe, but then you have the New York Times turn around and say that lecture Jews that we must rewrite the definition of anti-Semitism in order to make the anti-Semites accepted into the Democrat Party.
I don't understand how America is not defending Israel like it should. I am. Tucker Carlson is not. And particularly in this time of crisis in America, we've seen so much anti-Semitism uncovered in university campi. At least we see Donald Trump doing that, but I'm surprised to see people on the right who are not defending Israel in the fashion I think we should. It is surprising. I want to ask you about this, and there's some other things. You had mentioned this article that I want to talk about at the next break let me see, the New York Times Magazine. I want to touch on that after the break. But I'm seeing this headline today, and listen, and I don't believe this. It says, I believe the findings, but it's not shocking. A new poll reveals a shocking majority of college students prefer socialism over capitalism. This is according to an Axios Generation lab poll conducted. 67% of college students have a positive view of socialism. This is not shocking to me, Justine. This has been this way for a very long time.
Well, their entire lives, a lot of them have lived off other people's money. Yes. When mom and dad paved the way for your whole life, of course, you're not going to know what it's like living in squalor and actually having to earn and fend for yourself.
Yes.
We have to remember a lot of these students at Columbia and NYU, they were born after 2000, and a lot of them, most of them actually, which is really scary, were born after 9/11.
Yes.
So they're living off the riches that their ancestors, they're actually just their parents, have made for them. They built this country for them. Yeah. And as the old saying goes, strong men create good times create weak men create weak times. So it's kind of this cycle.
That's exactly.
And then it almost seems as if they're going to have to experience it. They're going to have to experience the breadlines they're advocating for in order to just understand.
I think there's a part of Gen Z, though, that maybe are not in school now, who graduated, who recognize that and have returned to traditional American values. And I would say that movement is larger, to be quite honest, than this. I don't know, maybe they're doing this for pre-election, whatever, but we've seen a movement by Gen Z away from this, toward faith and whatnot, because of the abuses they suffered during COVID. But let's take a break and come back. We got more with Justine Murray on the Rob Carson Show right ahead. Don't go anywhere.
a registered investment advisor.
This is the Rob Carson Show. Justine Murray joins us on the Newsmax hotline. And there's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of stuff happening. A new poll talks about how the college students now are overwhelmingly in support of socialism. This counters some of the things that I've been seeing, which is a turn toward faith and an amazing movement by what's happening on campus with Charlie Kirk. I look at these things with a raised eyebrow. The college students have always leaned into socialism because they have not made their way in the world, and they have relied on other people, as Justine had mentioned just a few minutes ago. So I think that a lot of people in Gen Z went through the hell of, and I've said this before because I've experienced it with my kids. My daughter is 20, my son is 20, almost 26. They experienced isolation and numerous abuses during COVID. They were locked out of their schools. A good share of their academic careers were wrecked by it, and certainly their ability to socialize were wrecked. And they came together. They came together after it. And so I don't necessarily believe that people Gen Z are leaning into socialism. I'm not falling for this after all of the things that have happened with regard to the rise of Charlie Kirk, the thousands of people he's bringing out to college campuses, his subsequent martyrdom, and the rebirth of faith happening on campuses. I don't believe it, Justine.
You make a good point. I think it's still a mix. You'll see most of the New York types, NYU, Columbia types supporting socialism, but perhaps it's just the loudest, and of course the loudest are always the most obnoxious, the most annoying. So I'm someone who, working in media, I basically live in the echo chamber of social media and X and TikTok, and of course the most platformed voices are these lunatics, these left-wing nutjobs. But then you have a lot of people, and what gives me hope is that a lot of people who are not eternally online, a lot of young people who saw what happened after Charlie was murdered, maybe this truly is a turning point. Yeah. And especially when for about 20 years or so, you've had our celebrities, you had the elite, you had our teachers, professors beat into our heads that we were somehow evil because of the way we were born, because we were born white, or if you're a man. And when you're taught that your entire life, when you're told you can't speak or say anything or you'll be canceled, lose your job, it will eventually radicalize you. Yeah. And we've seen that. The left shot the Overton window of thought to death. They tried to shut it for years, and it just radicalized people to basically smash the window. And then once they started killing people for their beliefs, now we are seeing the shift of at least a good amount of Gen Z. I'm hoping it's more than the socialists who are living in New York right now.
Let's talk a little bit about this New York Times magazine piece about telling women to take testosterone to turn. What is this? What the hell is this?
Yeah, well, what man doesn't want to come home to Katie Porter every night?
Oh, dear God. Oh, my God. Wow. What?
Yeah, I got this, my office, MRC, we got this in the mail today or yesterday, and someone put it on my desk, and they said, hey, Justine, can you dissect this? And it was kind of torture going through this. This is the weekly Sunday New York Times Magazine, and there's this, six-armed, monstrous, burlier version of Katie Porter on the cover, and the cover says, testosterone is giving women back their sex drive.
The hell?
And then some. So they're basically encouraging you to sew on a penis in order to attract men, because according to the left, maybe just leftist men, they're looking for a boyfriend, not a girlfriend, and that's true in their circles.
Yeah, no, you know what? I think we've had enough with this gender nonsense, and I think that a lot of people are returning to their traditional roles. They told us forever that masculinity was toxic. They told women forever that femininity was something you didn't want to espouse to. It made you weak, and I think that did not work. I think the traditional dance between men and women is making a comeback. I really do. I think the traditional dance between men and women, men being masculine, women being feminine, there's nothing wrong with it. They fit very well, and it doesn't mean you're weak. It doesn't mean you're weak to be feminine. If anything, the opposite is true.
coming from a pageant girl, it's so true that for years, most of the sexism that I've experienced has been from other women, older women telling me that, I need to wear pants. Actually, I had a teacher pull my mom into school one time when I was in high school, and she said that, Justine needs to stop wearing dresses and heels all the time. She needs to be strong, and quote unquote, they said they were going to fix us by making us, basically turning us into men. And this is coming from all the supposed feminists who claim they're all about women's empowerment, but being an empowered woman, according to the left, is basically making yourself a man.
Well, it's they're also in support of a certain number of women in the population wearing hijabs and being beaten for being seen in public. It's remarkable how leftist women are down with that as well. Before we go, did you see the Glamour magazine cover with the women of the year all being men? What did you think about that? Was that just about clickbait, or were they, I don't know, what were they trying to do?
It's social engineering.
Okay.
But it's not working. As you said, there's a lot of people who are waking up to this. Yeah. You can't try to socially engineer nature. Men are naturally going to be masculine. Women are going to be feminine. And what they're trying to do is they're trying to reverse all roles, all standards to basically create chaos. But most people aren't listening to it anymore. That's why it's getting so much backlash.
Yeah. Well, you're a petite, very feminine young woman, and I regard you the same as I would anyone else as far as punditry, as far as a political opinion. I value your opinion as much as anybody. The fact that you are feminine makes no difference to me whatsoever. It doesn't make you weaker in any way, shape, or form. And I think we're kind of done with this nonsense. Justine Murray, great to have you on. Where can people find all your glorious work?
Sure thing. Go to mrctv.org. You can also find us at the MRC, and then we also have our second account, MRCTV on X, where the Media Research Center on Instagram, that's, of course, our full name, and you can also go to our Newsbusters site.
Oh,
and
great.
Thank you so much. Thank you again for having me. It's always great joining you.
You're
always
the best.
Great speaking with you.
You're a rock star, girl. We'll have you in studio. We'll get the studio all done here in Washington, D.C. Let's take a break and come back. This is The Rob Carson Show. That girl has only been in the workforce like a year and a half. She is, she's not, she's very new out of college and whatnot, and she's just kicking ass. I really respect her a great deal. And her stuff, I've watched her develop just in the last 2 years. I met her at the CPAC in D.C. earlier this year, and I'd seen her work before. That was 8 or 9 months ago. And she's just gotten light speed what she's doing. And it's really good. It's really good. She's like 21 years old. She's just kicking ass. Ned Toons is watching over on Rumble. Been invited to and went to for dinner at a Jewish home, but would not go to many of other faiths for dinner. Okay, all right, that's cool, whatever. I, between you and me, went on a date with a Jewish girl on Friday and had a great time. I don't care. And it was a really cool thing. I could be very honest with her. And she was very honest about her Judaism. I was very honest about my Catholicism. We had a delightful conversation. I like Jewish girls, always have. I really have. I don't even think of them as Jewish. I just think of them as girls. So there you go. Deplorable dinosaur. What's going on? Jim ZB9JT, whatever the hell that is. Hi from Vancouver, Washington State. We love Trump. Well, good for you because it's freaking nuts out there. It's beautiful out there, by the way. Beautiful, beautiful out there. Louis Choate, 3,700. Rush was a recipient of the Presidential Medical Freedom. Yes, he was. Donald Trump gave it to him because he knew that Rush was dying. And he wanted to make sure that Rush got it when he was alive. He deserved it, don't get me wrong, but he did that as well. This was after Rush had declared that he was going to die. And he got the reward. It was beautiful. It was beautimous. Here we go.
26. John Hannity, weekdays 3 to 6 on Talk Radio 680 WCVM.
2.5.
Dig it.
Come on, Pete. Start moving. Got to keep it there.
They're killing record numbers of Christians in Nigeria. And they have other countries very bad also. You know that. Part of the world very bad. They're killing the Christians and killing
There you go. That is, we was talking about how you wish the Allies would have bombed the railroad tracks to Auschwitz. Well, we have the opportunity to do that in Nigeria, and it's about damn time, and I hope that Donald Trump goes in there with drones, paints some targets, and blows the bloody hell out of the bastards who are slaughtering Christians there, in the genocide. There is a time and a place for Superman to sweep in and kick some ass. Barry Obama didn't do anything about it when Boko Haram was kidnapping 900 girls, many of them never returned. And it is time to end it. And radical Islam has run roughshod over this country for the last 50 years, and it's time it got its rear end handed to it. That's it. And I also hope Donald Trump goes in and destroys Maduro's infrastructure and drug traffic trade in Venezuela. He's not long for this earth, and it is a gift from God that it's going to happen for the people of Venezuela. It's going to. Superman is back. We don't have to have boots on the ground. We have the ability to change the world for good and save lives. It's not about regime change. It's about saving lives. And by the way, Maduro has killed thousands of Americans with the drug trafficking trade. He has. That's it. That's all. That's that. And I hope Boko Haram and all of these radical Islamists who have been murdering Christians in Nigeria are blown straight to bloody hell. I will celebrate the day that it happens. But there is a time and a place where you have to bomb the tracks to Auschwitz and realize that if you can do something good to save lives, then why let that continue to happen? This is not about a war. But this is about saving some people who are not being saved by the people in charge who are allowing it to happen. And if you can do it without boots on the ground, then by God, I love it. I love it. I love it. Guys, have a glorious day. God bless you. God bless the country as founded. Donald Trump as he continues to try to save the world. And God bless the people of the states who need Republicans elected tomorrow. In the meantime, until tomorrow, don't catch so stupid. I'll see you then.
Information. Truth is freedom. Is Newsmax. It's real news for